Oh, okay. There's that. All right, here we go. The show that I just mentioned begins in 3, 2, 1.
This line is open. Please form an orderly queue.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Core. This is Core for November 2nd, 2023. That's right, brand new month, brand new show. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger, and we're here to talk about the world of video games. All the way high up top with the companies and what they're doing, all the way down to some dumb thing we played. All right, the whole gamut, the entire range of gaming will happen today. And I had a question because Halloween just happened. Did either of you see any kids in cool video game costumes? Because I only saw one, and I'll tell you that in a second. But John, you got little ones. You partake in the events of Halloween. Did you see any cool video game kids? And I don't mean like Roblox. F those kids. Those kids are lame. But like anything else that was cool.
Well, my family, we were all M&Ms. Because it's a lazy, easy costume. You know, you buy colored T-shirts for everybody. You heat press an M on there. Everybody's in costume. So, my whole family went as M&Ms, which was fun. Like, nothing feels better than a cheap, easy costume that then everybody raves about.
Yeah, because you're in a group in a family. Were you who was the horny green M&M? Who did that?
Oh, let's just say green M&M because it was my stepdaughter.
Oh shit!
So, my daughter was the green M&M.
Okay, all right. I was hoping it was you or something. I don't know.
We didn't really base it on the personality of the M&Ms. We didn't give it a lot of thought. It was more of just like, hey, what T-shirts are everybody's sizes that we can get and make work?
Sure.
So yeah, we did M&Ms, and people were like, "Oh, family!" It was very exciting. Mostly because again, low effort, low cost.
Sure.
Wonderful.
Sure.
But I saw a Sonic the Hedgehog, a Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh.
I saw a lot of Mario related costumes. Whether it was like a Mario that's supposedly riding Yoshi. You know, where your legs are the Yoshi legs and then there's fake Mario legs off the side. I saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not a lot actually. Not a ton of video game representation in the costumes.
Who was the Grammy award-winning M&M in your trip?
Which M&M won the Grammy?
The yellow peanut one, right?
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I got it. I was real late to that joke. I apologize. I just pulled up and got out and said, "What's going on here?" and went, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah,
I just assumed the M&Ms won an award at some point.
Did anyone lose themselves in the music or the moment?
Did
they own it?
Did
they better let it
been
go?
More effort than we were willing to put into the costume.
Mom spaghetti, all that. Yeah.
It's just funny that it's less effort to dress as an M&M than to just find rapper clothes in your closet. Nobody had like.
No, weirdly, none of us dress like rappers on the day-to-day, Bo. I know that's surprising to you with all you know about me and my family.
Canadians.
No, all I gotta do is find oversized pants and put a do-rag on, and the people are like yo, and you go, or who are you? And you go yo.
Yo.
You gotta lose yourself in the music, and they're like, oh, you're Eminem. I get it. You tried not at all, but it's a costume. Congrats.
You tried not at all. Well, I mean, I don't think it was. Maybe it was last year or the year before. My stepdaughter did try to go as Pitbull.
Nice. The rapper Pitbull.
But then, as she was trying to get the costume together, she just went, "Well, it's not working, so I'll just modify it slightly." And now she just went as me.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you do have the Pitbull vibe, right? Which is no hair on top of the head.
Yeah,
That's all
basically that was it. Because there was no way in the world were we gonna we were just like you know put the goatee on, put a bald cap on, and she's like doing all that, and she's like, I did it. And I was like, you just kind of look like me. I don't think that people are gonna get what you're doing, what you're going for. So
how'd she feel about that? How excited was she that she
thought it was funny because I think she knew it bugged me just a little bit. And as soon as you know that it's bugging somebody,
especially a parent or a step parent, they want to.
I think the thing is, you got to go for an iconic look that everyone knows.
Will immediately know.
That you'll recognize. And Pitbull, not that iconic. Yeah,
No.
sorry if you're listening, buddy, but you got great
sure.
music and you're famous and all that, but you don't really got you don't got an iconic look like Michael Jackson or Eminem.
I don't even know what he looks like. I have to look him up. I can't even picture it.
And his heyday was like a decade ago. It's funny that your daughter knows who Pitbull is because I'd assume that he was old news by now.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
She's like an encyclopedia of music. Like, it's kind of crazy. She can't go back quite as far as like my dad, but you put the two of them together and you can find out just about anything you need to know about music between the two of them.
He looks like here in the chat and in the thing I'll put a thing, but he looks like someone who wants to up your home insurance or something. I don't know why he doesn't look like Rapper Man to me. He looks like he wants to.
No, and that's exactly what happened. Like, she put on like a beard and mustache, and it was like, okay, you just sort of look like me.
Yeah, it's John.
He's a dance. It's more like a dance music guy. He just does the whole dibba 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 dibba, the low voice.
He does the ebba dibba dibba. All right, I'm in.
Not a rapper. We're not talking.
Yeah. He's hip hop adjacent though, probably. Kind of.
Yeah, like he's collabed with them, and you probably would categorize it somewhere in that vicinity, but,
Sure.
I don't know.
I understand it completely. Well, Bo, did you see any cool? I saw Pikachu, and that's it. Did you see anything?
I didn't
was cool?
see any costumes. No,
okay.
Unfortunately,
we gave out Pokemon cards as part of the deal. So
nice.
This one kid who was a Pikachu lost his freaking mind, but all the kids were excited because Kim's like, full-size candy bar house already. Don't ask me. I freaking hate it, but she does it. She loves it. So they get a full-size candy bar and a pack of, I think they were packs of 6 cards. I don't know what they are, but they're a little package, right? Of Pokemon cards. And most of these kids lost their effing minds over these Pokemon cards.
They would. Like, kids remember that. Like, as we were making our rounds, we were getting told, I think this was the house with full-size candy bars last year. We have to go there.
Yeah.
Like, kids remember this. Like, you want to be a full-size candy bar house, but because we all want to go out, we just leave a bucket outside. And you can't be a leave a bucket outside full-size candy bar house. You can't do that.
No,
that's we made the mistake.
House.
Like, I always feel bad writing like take 1 or 2 because like I don't want to put that restriction on people. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
So we said help yourself, which was maybe a little too far in the other direction because certainly there were some people. And we heard it. Like, we were walking back up to the house and some kid came by and is like, can you believe they said help yourself? I took a lot.
Yeah.
Like, these kids definitely took help yourself as
literal. Like, help.
Go to town.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want to do, but it was fine.
Yeah. It worked out. Did you have any left when you came back?
So we went through, we kept refilling it. The kids have braces, so the amount of candy they can eat or the types of candy is very small.
Yeah.
So we did all our sorting and we went and took everything they couldn't eat and put it in there. And when we came in, there was like just a single layer of candy at the bottom of the bucket.
Wow.
So some people I think really did help themselves, but we also like our neighborhood's growing. It's got tons of kids. Like it was a very busy neighborhood for trick-or-treating.
Sure. Well, that's good. So, Bo, how much do you get? You get a little bing bong at the night and during the night? Bing bong?
No, my neighborhood's not really kids thing.
Yeah.
Like I never get visitors. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. I'd love them to see Uncle Bo in a like a wizard outfit or something going, hey, kids, you want a bush burger? Here you go.
Reach into the bush, find some candy, bush candy Bo.
I think people's parents would appreciate that.
People do some shocking things for Halloween. Like, just to be clear, like we went into like this one place where they had set up kind of a haunted house type entryway. It wasn't really a full house. It was just, you walk through a tunnel.
Yeah.
There was a guy, and I thought, obviously they were trying to scare people. But usually if you go through with like a real little one, they don't really try to scare them. Nobody wants to be the person that's scared a baby. And I mean, my son's 2, so he's not exactly a baby, but he's still small. He was still being held when we went through. And this guy from a doorway like let an actual chainsaw rip out of nowhere and scared the bejesus out of everybody that was in there. Although my son, he jumped and then we left and he got his candy and then he goes again and points at it. He wanted to go back through. He wanted to see the chainsaw thing again. He loves getting scared. He thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. So I think I got a future horror movie nut as a kid.
Nice. Well, happy Halloween, everyone. Bo, next year you should do it and say, I've got some blue fuzz on the soap. Come on in, kid. No, don't do any of these things. These are all bad
Trying to get
ideas.
me arrested.
Look at this soap.
You got a bet going with someone?
Oh, it sounds like I do, but I don't.
Do you do anything for Halloween, Bo, or is it just like it's just the day that other people get all?
No, I do
into
nothing.
it?
Like there's no one knocking at the door. There's no candy or here. There's no decorations. There's nothing. I think
You
my
don't
mom
you don't
might
like
have
order
been-
a pizza or there's no ritual that just you adhere to for the day.
Honestly, I kind of forgot it was Halloween after our stream. Like that was about the extent of it. I didn't even.
Oh, that's right. You guys, well, when did you stream, though? When was that?
We
Oh.
streamed early because
It was early. It was noon to 4, and then I can't remember what I got up to after that. I might have even streamed after, if not.
It was at the
I was probably
morning
playing video
of.
games or
So it was
something.
the morning of Halloween, though, that you guys did it.
Yeah. It
Okay.
wasn't in the evening.
Got it.
I don't remember what I did that evening, but it wasn't Halloween. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk more about that later. You guys, I played that game too before, not with you guys. I wish I had because I played it with people who wanted me to die, and it
Oh,
was a scary experience for me. That game.
oh, they tried to do it on purpose.
Well,
Or
I
got
think
you?
they knew that I was going to lose it, so they would make sure. I mean, some of them are listening to this, so I don't want to assume too much, but I think they were trying to make sure I was in the worst possible situations to deal with, had the worst equipment, I was in the wrong room at the wrong time. I think a lot of that was going on because that game scared the living pee out of me. I still own it. I have it.
Well, if you want to play, I now have it. I play it in VR, so
I will only play it with friends ever. I will never play with randos, and I'll never play on my own ever.
but you'll play in VR.
I might play. That's a lot.
It's a much scarier experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only sad part I have about it is I screamed out loud, but because there's proximity voice chat, no one heard it.
Oh, okay.
So the moment was lost. I was like, I was in a house and all the lights went out and all the lights exploded, and I actually screamed.
Really?
I actually went. And then I was like, then it dawned on me that I'm like, I'm not near anyone. No one's laughing. This is hilarious.
Well, that's good. I mean, nobody knows. Although that is a good point. That
Oh,
is
well,
the one.
that was why I wore the
one
headset, was
flaw
to make
with
a
the
show out of it.
game
Yeah.
is that you really don't know. You really don't know how scared others are of the game. At least until you I died a lot, so I was a little aware of how scared.
No,
some
if you're
people
near
were.
them, it's funny to
'Cause
hear
I
people
could
go,
hover
"Oh no,
around 'em.
the ghost is hunting me!" And then just hear them stop, and you're like,
Yeah.
sucker.
Yeah. Well, they heard me. Like whoever streamed it, I think it was Alex, whoever it was. You could hear me, but far off in this room, screaming and dying. So they
That's
may
not
have
the
heard.
real Scott's experience. We need you right up into the mic,
Ugh.
hitting the highest frequencies.
It was actually
possible.
funnier because they were all kind of just talking. Travis and Alex were talking, and they were having this very close proximity conversation. But then you hear this. Oh my gosh! Like that, but way off. It was a bad time. Bad time. Or a good time,
play
depending
again.
on your point of view, I suppose.
If you stream it from your channel, though, everyone will see your screams, so that's good.
That's true. All right. We'll talk about that coming up. We got other stuff too. Quick reminder. Tomorrow, not a reminder, this is an announcement for some of you. Tomorrow is the opening ceremonies at BlizzCon 2023. And none of us are there, obviously, in Anaheim this year, but we are going to do a live co-stream of the opening ceremony tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, which is 12 noon here, my time, Mountain time. Bo's time will be 2 p.m. And
Really? 2 p.m.? Okay.
hold on, 12, 1, 2. Yep.
So we didn't change to the 2-hour difference yet.
No, none of that's changed
No,
yet. That
that's
happens Sunday.
this upcoming weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday night, midnight. Or no,
Wow.
Saturday at midnight. Well, midnight Sunday, which is the turnover from Saturday. We get the new time thing. I hate it. John doesn't because he lives in a state that is...
Nothing changes. I just keep going, but then I have to have time-related conversations with all my friends.
It's kind of, I don't know what's worse. Which is worse? Having to do that every time, dealing with everybody you got to work with in other states, or was it worse when you didn't
What you guys have to do is worse.
Okay,
I'll just tell you. Going to bed
Yeah.
and waking up and not having to worry about anything is a lot easier than worrying about something.
I tend to agree.
Like, yes, it
sometimes I
does
don't worry
lead
about
to
it. My phone just
issues.
changes.
Yeah.
It is worth noting that our show might be an hour earlier going forward.
Yeah, that's
for
true.
a time being.
For some people.
Yeah, some people it won't change at all, I guess. No, it will.
It'll change for most people. It won't change for people in Arizona.
I worry.
People in Japan.
Yeah, that's our international people. They'll get a change.
Sure.
But
they'll
anyway,
have to rethink it.
In Korea, we have some listeners in Korea.
Hell yeah, we do. We got Singapore.
Do they listen live?
Probably not. Well, some do.
Yeah, but they hear this. This is recording as well.
We get Australians in here live. We get
yeah, because you know what's cool about, because I always like to fantasize that I live in a different country sometimes. And I was like, oh man, what if we moved to New Zealand? I don't remember why I was thinking New Zealand. I think there was some job that my wife was like, I'm gonna apply for this. It's in New Zealand, but I'm gonna just do it because what the heck?
Yeah, why not?
And so we were like looking at it, and it wasn't really serious, but we were sitting there going like, what if we moved to New Zealand? I was like, could I still do core? What time would core be at? They are almost 24 hours ahead of us here.
Oh,
like, so core would be at almost exactly the same time. Just a day ahead. And I was like, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's
like,
funny.
So I would just be a day ahead of you guys. Like literally just a day.
Sorry, I put my head
I might have that wrong. People from New Zealand are going to be like,
so when are you moving to New Zealand?
Yeah.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
Oh.
That's a shame.
I wish.
I bet you it's a lot cooler than Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Plus, you could go to like...
Temperature-wise, I mean, I don't mean cooler as in cooler.
It's definitely more humid, but...
It's cooler in every sense of the word.
You could go... You could see Hobbiton and all that shit they still have there from when they made the Lord of the Rings movies, you know?
I'll live in Hobbiton if they want me to.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to do in a day. I'll put hair on my feet and go out.
Let's do it.
It's probably be a comfortable fit for you.
Yeah. I think it would be a great fit.
Yeah, I'd like, honestly, I'd be like, this is a sizable home.
I want to live in a place like that too. It looks awesome.
I would have to duck all the time. I would be the Gandalf in there, and it's not good.
You are Gandalf.
Yeah, I'd be keep it secret, keep it safe. Bonk every 5 seconds, banging my head on some damn rafter. Freaking F the hobbits. Anyway, moving on.
Fool of a took.
I forgot to say. So yeah, we're doing that. It's a live stream. If you can't be there, we're gonna have the VOD, and assuming Blizzard's cool with it, it'll be on YouTube in perpetuity and on Twitch as well. If they aren't, for some reason, I'll try to make it available in some other way. But the audio from it for sure will go out into the main feed. So yeah, you'll get all the ways of getting it if you can't be there live. And again, we're doing that tomorrow morning. Go to frogpants.tv and pick your poison. You can choose either YouTube or Twitch and watch it live with us.
I guess that means since tomorrow's BlizzCon, it's the night before BlizzCon. Are we supposed to get like completely blitzed out of our mind tonight, or is that tomorrow?
Let's see. Today's Thursday, so when
I think the people that do it just do it.
Yeah, they get blitzed whenever they want. But
I didn't do it even when I went there,
Same.
so I couldn't tell you. I just watched other people's chicanery.
Thursday night, last time we went, the three of us were there. Didn't we all go to see Bethany and hang out at the?
Yeah.
Well, they have a pub
right.
crawl. There's a pub crawl that they would have. I think there was a crew of them.
That was the thing, yeah.
Well, we went to that one event that was at a bar, and then we were watching everybody else try and mingle and drink and hook up and all that stuff, and we just went and sat on a couch.
Yeah.
We all just wanted to talk.
Yeah, we just
were
wanted
they
to
trying
hang
to
out.
hook up? I don't really remember that.
I
part.
don't.
Oh, I do.
Look, the allegations existed for a reason. There were definitely people trying to hook up.
Yeah.
At that
Also, I'm sure.
I'm 100% sure. I know of one example there.
I guarantee you someone there was trying to hook up.
I watched somebody try to hook up in that place. That's why I didn't want to leave hanging out with you guys, because that made me feel weird. I wanted to stay there. You know?
Our couch was quality people, though. We had the three of us.
Yeah.
Kyle and Garrett there?
Well, I was trying to hook up, but John wasn't giving
Kyle
me
and
any
Kristen.
response.
Yeah. I remember.
I was just ignoring him.
He's cold,
Whole
man. He's
time.
cold.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking any of your moves, your hot signature
I'm
moves.
not here to make friends. I'm here to talk about Blizzard products.
Yeah, that
You're on
was.
business.
I have a picture of us on that couch. I can tell you exactly who was there. Well,
Yep.
maybe not. I don't know everybody in this picture.
Oh.
But I see me. I see Kristen. I see Kyle.
Yeah.
I see Bo. I see Scott.
Yeah.
I see Garrett.
Yeah.
I think that's one of Garrett or Kyle's friends. And then why can't I think of his name? One of the Zords.
Oh,
I can't think of
TK
his
Zord?
No, it's not TBK.
Gizmo Zord.
Gizmo Zord.
Gizmo
yes.
Zord. He has the beard.
And there's also Multi-Zord, which
Yeah.
is the most useful of the Zords because it's like
multi-purpose,
different Zords,
That
It's
was
not just one Zord for your needs, it's many Zords.
Those guys are nerds.
quality BlizzCon couch.
You tell me you can call yourself a Zord and hook up at the same time?
No.
No, that's why they were on the couch with us.
Yeah. The Zords were with
And
us.
what's your name? I'm Multi-Zord.
I'm Multi-Zord.
Look, if somebody said
They're
they
all
were
married, by
multi-sword,
the way?
I would have.
Yeah.
I'd be curious.
Yeah.
I think they're all married. I don't think Gizmo Zord is, although I'm sure he's fine. I think he does.
TBK definitely
He's a
is.
good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, TBK's a married man, so is Multi, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah.
Gizmo's the wild one, I think.
Gizmo was the one with no barriers, no boundaries. Gizmo lets
People
it fly.
want to see the pic. Scott, can you?
Yeah, I can
post
share
the
it.
pic?
Probably
is it
not.
easier
I
for
don't
me
think
to-
I look that great in any picture.
It's
Well,
super-
neither
super
do
easy.
I. But if I can live with it,
Fine.
Paste it into the Discord and I'll show everybody. Oh, there it is. All right, here you go, folks. You want to see some sweet 2018?
this is
I
us
believe?
at a bar where we have all decided to move and just sit on a couch because we didn't want to drink and we didn't want to mingle.
Oh my gosh, I've lost about 20 pounds since then. Look at that. Look at that. Look at me. Yeah.
I have thought about losing about 20 pounds since then
Yeah.
and still have not
Thought
checked it
about
off the list.
Yeah, I'm still working on those same 20 pounds. I was at that
Kristen
time.
looks like she's part of Multi-Zord's hat.
Yeah, Kristen's just peeking up over the
Just
top.
built into his hat. Got it at the store, the Blizzard store. Some kind of WoW reference. Who knows? I love it. That was fun, and I was glad to have other teetotalers with me. Not teetotalers, but people who weren't there to get ripped. It was nice.
So
enjoyed it.
teetotalers.
So yeah, everybody who's there, if you're listening to us, I don't know if you can or not or what you're doing, but just be safe and have fun. And if you're gonna get a little drunk, that's fine. Just be nice to each other and no Cosby rooms, no handsiness. Keep your wiener in your pants, that sort of stuff.
I guess Bill Cosby must be fully banned at Blizzard HQ now.
Oh
right?
man, any reference?
You're not
to
even
that
allowed
stuff.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the movie Ghost Dad. No, and there's a sign. It's been 8 days since the last mention of Ghost Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and I should, sorry, I almost forgot to say this. So there's that thing tomorrow. But at the end of today's show, Tom Merritt, host of the Daily Tech News Show and a big-time tech podcaster, is going to BlizzCon for a very specific reason. He's a huge K-pop fan, and he loves the Sserafim, who are playing there with some sort of connection with Overwatch 2. We don't even know how or what yet. Probably just performing and doing some visual stuff. I don't know. But he loves them. This all-girl group from Korea, him and his wife, they're super into it. So they're going there just for this. And he and I had sat down and had like a 18 or so minute conversation about them and why they're connected in this way and some of the gaming history of the group, specifically one member who's a huge gamer. And cutting apart my idea that maybe they all just look like Diva and that's why they got invited. That's a very lame thing for me to say. So he helps me deconstruct that into what's really going on. So I'm going to
re-examine your biases, Scott.
a
That's
little
good.
bit. So what I want you to do is know that if you're listening to this podcast, at the very end of it, I will put that 18-minute conversation. For those who can't get it there or hear live and want to hear it elsewise, just reach out to me and I'll make sure you get it in some other way. But anyway, that'll be on today's show as well. All right, let's dive into this week's big topic. It's adjacent to what we were just talking about. Well, that's exactly what we were just talking about. BlizzCon. We want to make some predictions, and we figured this would be a good place to do it. And so they're going to take the stage tomorrow. We don't know how different this is going to be. From what I can tell, it might be really different than what we're used to. And by used to, I mean like 2018 back to 2011 or all the ones I ever went to. And we don't know what that means yet. Like, for example, let's just talk about this real quick. One of the strange things they've done this year, well, two things. They never sold out of tickets, which is a little weird. So I don't know what that means ultimately. But the opening ceremonies in front of a stage, seeing the stage where it is being held, is limited to the 5,000 seats that are in the Starcraft 2 arena space that you normally had there. Little dome space in there. No one's sure why that is, but no longer is it all out there in the main hall where you could hold up to 20,000 or more people. Now it's in this little 5,000 person space. And they're doing a lottery and letting people know if they've been picked or not. So you'll get notification on your phone or however you paid for the ticket, and it will say, you're one of these people. Be there at a certain time. You'll get in because your name's on the list. Sort of an impromptu VIP list, and people will get to go in there. If you're going with your friend or your significant other and your name gets called and your friend or significant other does not, then they're not going in there with you. You're going in there by yourself, and they're going to have to go find one of the screens somewhere and watch it outside, meaning in the main hall or somewhere like that. So that's already a little bit weird, and I don't know what that says about the rest of the event. The WoW Q&A has been canceled. Not canceled, but it's just not a thing this year. That is a tradition that's gone on since the very first BlizzCon and has never left. I hosted 2 of them. I feel like maybe I said something bad during the digital one, and they said, we're never doing this again. So maybe it was my fault. I tend to blame Taliesin. It's his fault. He did it in 2019. He can take the heat for it because 2018 was pristine. No issues. Perfect. We nailed it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Anyway, the point is, it's just all feeling very different. We'll see how different it is tomorrow when we watch it. But let's get some predictions out of the way, and let's start with World of Warcraft. It's expected that we're going to get a new expansion announcement. Chris Metzen is expected to be the guy who gets up and talks about it, or introduces it, or shows off a cinematic, or does something in that regard. What do we want to say around that? And this can be all things Warcraft, by the way. If you think we're going to see a lot of Rumble talk, which, by the way, is out as of today. Here in the States, anyway. I know it was already in Canada, but they put it out today. So there's Rumble. There's the potential. John was throwing around this idea, the potential of them revisiting how to fix Reforged, Warcraft 3 Reforged.
You saw that, did you?
I did see that.
You saw my predictions before I had a night to think about my predictions.
Well, I mean, you wrote that, and I didn't go, oh, that's for sure 100% locked in John's mind. You know what I mean? Like it felt like you were kind of throwing ideas around. But I wouldn't mind, as a consumer and a person who paid for that damn game, if they got up and said, we fixed it, it's all good now, download it today. I mean, that'd be great. I'd love to play that, what we were promised. I don't think we're ever going to get it. But anyway, thoughts. John, let's start with you. On the Warcraft front, what do you think we're going to get?
So I think we're pretty much given we're getting a new retail expansion. I feel like that's the worst kept secret, and everybody's expecting it. I would be shocked.
World of Warcraft 2
didn't get it.
No,
I don't think we're gonna get a World of Warcraft 2.
How old do we have to be? 80?
Dead? Maybe dead.
Like, so the problem with putting a 2 on your MMO is it hasn't happened often, and every time it's happened, it's been bad.
They don't have to put a 2 on it. They could just say, whatever.
So it requires Blizzard to be the ones who are going to say, we're going to do it and we're going to do it right. And I don't know that they feel confident that they can do that.
Right.
I think, like, for all the talk of like, oh, WoW is, falling out of favor, the numbers are down. That's true. But it's not like it's dead. It is still probably the number 1 MMO out there.
By the numbers, I think
pretty
so.
Safe to say that.
Yeah.
So I think that we're probably going to get a new expansion that looks an awful lot like the previous expansions that they've done. I think there will be another new continent or area discovered that we're going to get to go to. We're going to check out. I do think, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of theorizing of this rumored Classic Plus, which the idea behind that is basically what if they did an expansion to World of Warcraft Classic, which you might argue, well, they did that. It was called Cataclysm, but that's the idea is instead of doing Cataclysm, they do something else. They do a sequel to Classic WoW. It stays very much as it is, but you get more content in that. I don't know. I think that's a cool idea. I'd love to see it. If I was going to be a betting person and put my money on it, I would say I think we are going to get something smaller than Classic Plus, but I think it's going to be bigger than them just saying we're doing Classic Cataclysm. No, I don't want to say nobody, because then people are going to be like, John's always saying is every. I don't think the majority of people want Classic Cataclysm. I don't think a lot of people look back at that era and go, that's it. That's the one for me.
That was the time. Yeah.
So
what about WoW remake? What about they don't? It's not new technology. Like it's not new graphics, but it's all today's gen making Classic WoW, but it's the currently relevant WoW.
So that's kind of more what Classic Plus is. I think they're going to find a middle ground. Like my prediction officially,
Plus. That's obscure.
Well, no, they're not going to call it that, but that's the common term. Like if you say Classic Plus to people that are interested in it, they know what that is.
I know, but you want to bring in a whole bunch of new people for your new era, so I would call it WoW too.
Sure.
All right. Well, you call it whatever you want. I don't care. I think they're going to do something more seasonal in the middle between those two ideas. I do think we're going to see Warcraft 3 Reforged fixed. One day, if that happens this year, I don't know, but I do think that's coming.
You do think that's a thing they're going to do? They're going to make good on that.
It's such a dark spot on them.
Yeah.
And it's a dark spot where they literally removed and overwrote, we're talking like Star Wars Special Edition here. You put in a weird looking Jabba the Hutt. You got to fix it. You got to at least try to fix it. You got to at least look like you're trying to fix it. Like they went over the top of original Warcraft 3 with this monstrosity. People aren't happy. They've tried to make good. People still aren't happy. And I think we did talk about it on the show. I heard from someone, certainly not me, because you're not allowed to say, that there was a survey going around about what they would want to see if they decided to make good on Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Do we know what any of the results of said possible survey was?
Well, no.
Okay.
Because it's,
it's only hypothetical at this point, sure.
One hypothetical person that responded.
That may even not be a real person
we don't know. Like they could have just, whoever wrote that. It certainly wasn't me.
Could have been AI. It could have been Chat GPT who wrote that. We don't know.
They could have put it together.
Yeah.
They certainly didn't send another survey to that similar person about purchases in Diablo 4 and how to make their store better. So that's another thing they're certainly not looking into right now. But anyway, like I do think that they're going to try and lump some general Warcraft news together so that they can talk about Arclight Rumble without getting like monstrous boos. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like WoW retail expansion, what they're doing in WoW Classic. And hey, we got lots of other great Warcraft things. Arclight Rumble, Warcraft 3 Reforged getting fixed, like just kind of. And now we gloss over the things that might have a bad look. So I think Warcraft is definitely going to be the big thing this year as we go through the rest of the predictions. But that's what I would put my money on, is that right there.
Okay. But Bo.
Oh, and Murlocs, you'll know it when you see it. There you go.
Oh, nice.
For old Azeroth Roundtable listeners, that will always be the prediction.
Nice. I like the throwback. So, Bo, where do you stand on the Warcraft stuff? What do you think they're going to do?
I mean, John's probably more in the camp of reasonableness if we're trying to win the bet.
Yeah.
But if we're just basing it on what do you want to see, like obviously I need WoW 2. It's WoW 2.
When you love a tease for that, just even if it's a new expansion and they
I
talk
don't want to
about
go to a
classic,
new island and chill in a new island. I'm not going
Yeah.
to come back and play your game. Like I'm done with World of Warcraft in its original incarnation. But if you had a new start from zero world, I definitely give that a try.
Because imagine this, dude. Because I like where your head's at. What if we are nearing the actual 20-year anniversary? It'll be next November, so a year from today, or a year from this week, sometime like that. They launch this game. When that happens in 2024, wouldn't it be amazing if at this event they teased WoW 2 or whatever you're going to make it, and next year, this exact time at BlizzCon and at home, we get the true follow-up to the world's most popular and successful MMO.
Oh, you think I'm a year too early, basically?
I'm just saying you're not too early for an announcement, right? This would be the time to announce it.
Yeah. It would just be an announcement. Like maybe it's just a teaser. Like maybe it's just like a confirmation. Like, hey, here is WoW 2. We have no idea what it's looked like. We're not going to tell you anything. We're Blizzard. See you in 5 years.
Okay, I will amend this and say if they got up and did an announcement tomorrow that said we're making Starcraft the MMO. That's where we've all been at with Starcraft for all this time.
That's not happening. This is a prediction show. That's not happening.
But that's my point.
Bo's like, I'll say WoW 2, but you even say Starcraft MMO. That's a bridge too far.
Yeah,
sir.
my bridge is not too far. For if we're trying to be accurate, yes,
all
correct.
Right. Yeah, you can have your bridge here.
But here's my bridge.
Sorry,
here's my here's my rainbow bridge that goes super far. I would kill for a Starcraft themed MMO.
Sure.
And if they announce that, I'd lose my crap. And it'd be a perfect time. 20 years of Warcraft. Now start the next phase. The next 20 years is 20 years of Starcraft, the MMO.
Man, that'd be so good. Nobody likes Destiny anymore. You got the perfect time to get in there. Mm-hmm. Everybody's mad at Destiny. Bungie just fired everyone working on the game.
Yep.
Now's your chance.
Yep. One can hope that maybe Microsoft will well, no, I guess Dustin Browder left, right?
Yeah,
because they killed it. They had a StarCraft thing in development.
You could still do it. It doesn't have to be him. You could have other.
Yeah,
people.
I guess not. You get other people in on the project.
Yeah, he's just one guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I don't know if I want. I love like Blizzard RTSs are world standard, but I don't want another RTS. I want something bigger. And that thing they were making that they canceled that was like Battlefield in StarCraft land. Holy shit, that's amazing. And I'm so pissed it's not happening. So
they had to do that so they could bring you Overwatch 2, Scott.
I'd take another StarCraft RTS, by the way.
That's the other side of that story, just in case. That died so that you could have Overwatch 2.
Yeah. I mean, that is one. I mean, I hate to say that. I hate it, though, but it's true. Right? I don't think it's specifically like, well, Overwatch 2 is a priority, therefore kill that game. I think it was more like, where's all our money at right now? Where do we really want to put all our hands in what pots? And they are all like, well, obviously Overwatch and World of Warcraft and anything else is going to be, it's going to be expendable. And that got expended. And it really bugs me because I think that had so much potential, still does. As a concept. But if you really want to make me happy, StarCraft at the MMO, I'm in. Let's go. I'm making a fire bat. That's my class. I'm going to burn everything.
A good prediction. Are you allowed to make predictions on this, or are you just making safe predictions? You're betting about stuff you don't know.
Well, I only know. There are some things I know, but they are only in the realm of current IPs. I don't know about current projects. I don't know anything insidery about a StarCraft MMO. No idea.
Right.
I would love it.
I mean, I know that you're not here being like, I'm going to just say it. I know you're not going to do that. I know you're talking around it, but I was just, let's set the record clear. If you know something, you're not going to talk about
I will say, yes, that is true. But even if I did, I can tell you that I absolutely have no idea if something like a WoW 2 is coming. I really don't. That is absolutely out of my purview. I have no idea.
I think WoW 2 is big enough where, like, if they announce a WoW expansion, right, a retail expansion, it's reasonable to think that you will probably see that likely before the next BlizzCon, if not right around the time of the next BlizzCon. Whereas I think if you were going to announce WoW 2, I don't think it's unreasonable to do that several years out from release.
Yeah, no, they do that all the time, or they have done that in the past. They try to keep it tighter, but yeah, that's not crazy.
And I would want them to, because we'll get to this when we talk about another news story, I would want them to get player feedback on how that game should be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, don't forget Diablo 4 was announced in 2019 at the last live BlizzCon, and it's 2023. We've had 3-4 years time. So I don't think they're opposed to such things. I just don't. I mean, I just can't imagine. Part of me thinks they'll never do this because WoW will cannibalize itself. And they've learned this lesson from watching other MMOs try and fail doing this. EverQuest 2 is a good example. Bo's game, what's it called?
The game Bo made.
No, the one you love that you don't like the sequel. PlanetSide, same thing.
Well, yeah. Well,
but PlanetSide died long before 2.
The only thing they did wrong was they shut down the PlanetSide 1.
Oh, that's right. They did shut it down.
It's a ridiculous thing for them to do. They could have just left one server up.
Asheron's Call tried this.
PlanetSide really did wrong was allow Star Wars Galaxies to come out. They should have bombed that studio. Yeah. That would have really saved PlanetSide.
An act of mass violence would have solved all those problems. I don't know why they didn't do it. But for real though, like WoW 2 is like Asheron's Call 2 or EverQuest 2. People don't think this is going to happen, but it cannibalizes your base, and then still the first game dominates with numbers because people are weird about MMOs.
But people did mention Guild Wars 2 as a as a fact checker for me. People did.
They're so different though. I mean,
Guild Wars 2. I think it can be done. I think Blizzard has the ability to do it. I don't think they have the confidence to do it.
Well, what you need to do
even
they're like a company. They have to you can't just keep squeezing the same goose for 500,000 years. Like at some point, it's just like you said, release games. Mm-hmm. Just do it. Just go ahead and fail if your sophomore effort's going to be that bad. I think they stand a chance of doing reasonably well, not bad. Yeah,
and maybe they could do it. They could do it maybe more than others because I don't know. I'm still in the glow of what Blizzard is capable of, and not what they are now. And maybe they're that again because they're flush with cash from Microsoft. Maybe this changed. I don't know. I'm in a weird place.
Similar to PlanetSide and Star Wars Galaxies, EverQuest 2 also had another problem, and it wasn't the existence of EverQuest 1. It was weeks later, World of Warcraft released.
Oh yeah.
And Rallosaur makes a good point. Final Fantasy 14 is technically Final Fantasy Online 2.
That's true.
And they failed at first and rebuilt it and did it anyway. There's a lot of
it's kind of both Final Fantasy Online 2 and 3 in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's weird. That's a perfect living example of that working. You're not wrong.
It's a case of I think what needs to be done. You just got to have confidence in the vision. You got to monetize it correctly. It's got to be different enough. If you want both games to live on, assuming you don't want to forcibly migrate everybody, which that's a scary proposition because, the people that play World of Warcraft right now play it the way it is for a reason. You either just pretty up the graphics and go, it's the same thing. And then the people that aren't interested still aren't interested. And you keep the players you have maybe, or you make a very different game and you hope that those other players come along. I think it requires a very clear vision. And that's why I don't think we're going to get World of Warcraft 2 anytime soon.
Yeah, I think I agree, but I like the pie in the sky idea of it, and maybe we'll get lucky.
I do.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that is what would interest me. WoW fans really liked Dragonflight. Is what I heard. I heard it was well received.
Yeah, it's good.
But I had very little interest in it, and I don't know what they could possibly say about a retail WoW expansion that would get me excited.
Well, you were so when that came out, you were so in the thick of Anime Town that there was no way you were going to care about that. I mean, you played a little bit, right? At launch, you did get the expansion and you played some.
I played through all the Drakthir stuff till I got to Orgrimmar. And then I played the first quest that got me to the Dragon Isles. And then I got to the Dragon Isles and I stepped off the boat and it was nighttime. And I went, oh, right. I only play at night. It's going to be night all the time in this game.
Yeah.
And so that was ding number 1. And then they went, go kill some dragon whelps. And I went, why?
Yeah.
And as soon as I said why and there was no answer, I went, I'm not interested. I don't think this game's for me anymore.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think it was a really strong expansion. I'm very curious and excited to hear everything Chris has to say up there. That will be a big moment for the con in general. And I know he's excited to talk about it. So when we get that stuff, we'll see. The bigger question is, do they then launch into Warcraft as a platform? Meaning, okay, so here's your WoW stuff, but also Rumble just launched, and now we're gonna do more stuff. Here's a single player RPG coming out, or here's a tactical turn-based thing, or here's a blah, blah, blah. Like, I think some of that's on the table, and I know nothing about
a World of Warcraft Vermintide.
Oh man, dude!
I mean, they're making a StarCraft one.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
We should get a World of Warcraft everything. You're gonna make me say it. Make the game. There's so many games out there that Blizzard, you're not above it, could just take the idea and slap a Warcraft sticker on that I would play the hell out of.
Well,
they would just make it.
You're asking for the reverse of what Square did, but I think you're right. It could still work. Like, Square made all these games and has a legacy of all of these Final Fantasy titles and spinoffs and everything else leading up to successful MMO launches. And then they kept making the standalones and kept making the side games and now make mobile games. Like, they do the gamut and they succeed with it. Why wouldn't Blizzard? Like, in a way, I don't know the answer to this. I wish they would.
I think we're giving them a little too much credit. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Because I just see the industry around it making their games for them. So Stormgate's looking pretty good, and that's basically StarCraft 3 until they actually formally announced StarCraft 3. From Ghostcrawler's comments on Twitter, it sounds like it's going to be an MMO he's working on that is, gonna not be necessarily the same, but in the vein of something what World of Warcraft done, I think. And who knows? They haven't made it yet, so it's not. It just sounds like there's gonna be other things. It sounds like the rest of a lot of Blizzard creative forces, like the high level creative forces, are out and about, not at Blizzard. So, I say WoW too because they should do it, but like, I think you need the creative energy behind it, like that leader or that person, that that name. I mean, Chris is that for storytelling, but I don't know who they flaunt for on the game design side of things.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
All those big creative forces, because like, you can't just release WoW 2. It's the same old stuff. Like, they need an idea to make it the next generation's big MMO, right? Like, to onboard a lot of people, to provide novelty, because video games are very much a novelty purchase. People are drawn towards novelty, and if you just make the same game again, then people are just going to go, well, it's the same game. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So I think they're milking current IP for whatever, is there for people who like that stuff and will serve those clients. But I don't think they're going to do anything too radical.
Okay.
But I mean, I think that's the part that's frustrating to me. And this just goes to it, is like, if you want to live in a world where, and we did for a while, where it was like, why doesn't Blizzard make more video games? Well, because the games they put out are these prestige games that are, they're big, they're massive, they got tons of polish, they're just these amazing, like, ongoing things. People still play original Starcraft, they still do all these things because it's evergreen, right? It's gonna live forever. If that's the Blizzard that exists, then okay, I'm fine with you sitting on your thumbs when it comes to your IP. But the Blizzard now that's putting out Diablo Immortal and Warcraft Arclight Rumble and microtransactioning their games all to hell, that Blizzard doesn't have a reputation to lose. Make a Vampire Survivors like game. Don't let somebody else make it. Like that's maybe my second or third favorite survivors like is that one that just rips off Diablo. Like Blizzard should have made that, not somebody else.
They should have. I agree. That what's it called? Halls of Torment is amazing, and it feels like they lifted this old school Blizzard Diablo thing, and Blizzard should have made it. I agree with that. I don't have a problem with them branching out and making new stuff. Bo, I think, is right, though. A lot of their talent has spread out and gone other places, like tons of them. So they're in a weird rebuilding phase. I don't know what all that means, but I am going to make this prediction. And if I'm wrong, well, just based on nothing. But I just think because they get Chris back, and Bo even said it, he's the master of the story and the lore and pushes all that stuff forward. Gameplay aside for a moment. I think this is the perfect time to get up and go, we've signed a deal with Prime Video for 3 seasons of a Warcraft anime.
Hell yeah.
I would, or even a produced thing internally. Finally they make, CG animated short stories, whatever. Something like that would be amazing at this point.
Wasn't a Diablo show supposed to happen?
Yes, I don't know what's going on with that, but yes, there was supposed to be a Netflix deal. Now, a lot of stuff animation-wise changed at Netflix, and stuff got canceled, moved around.
Yeah. Netflix got so good at canceling shows, they canceled them before they're even released.
They might have very well done that, so I don't know, but we'll have to see. Anything else about Warcraft we think is possible at this thing?
Yeah, I mean, no. I feel like there would be something out of left field for sure that we're not expecting, like a Vermintide kind of thing, but...
Yeah. That'd be cool.
The expectation is standard stuff. We got an X-Pack, we got Arc-Light Rumble, and I think one of you maybe fixing Warcraft Reforged. I think even that sounds crazy. Like, I think it's a good idea, but I'm like, it's released. Like, I think they're just, they'll do their update thing, but I wouldn't expect anything.
I would love them to do it just from a make good perspective, but I don't know either if I think they will.
Remember they got hit. This isn't to be sympathetic, but they've had their lawsuits they've been dealing with, the bad press, the pandemic. And they're a big company with a lot of people, requires a lot of coordination. Like they've been hit. They've been pretty. I'm sure it's been pretty unstable there for the few years during the pandemic. So their output probably is not going to be.
Yeah.
Unless they've been working on a ton of shit secretly. And this is going to be some huge BlizzCon where they were announcing a ton of stuff. I'm not expecting too much. Just that new survival game.
Well, let's jump to that for a second. Do you think they announced that thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like the lead guy, I can't remember his name, but there was a lead guy who's been working on it. People were praising, like developers at Blizzard were praising him during that whole thing. I think Sean Gibson's his name.
I think that's right.
He left. He left like 6 months. I'm like, is this your pet project and you're gone? Like, how good is it? Like, how much of a dream was this for you?
Sure.
Unless it was for health reasons, and I'm being a bit of a jerk because I don't think that was the case though. I think it was to work somewhere else, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's like, it's a new IP. You've been shepherding this forever, and you're leaving.
Yeah.
Like, how bad is it over there? So I wonder if this even just hit. Like the culvert, I don't even know if it's going to come out, but I'm expecting to hear it.
They haven't talked about it at all since those initial screens and concept art, not screens, but they had concept art and
job
came
postings. I remember.
Yeah, they made it official, and as far as I know, but those people, most of them are still there. But I don't know. We have zero status on that, so.
And this could end up really wowing us if it's a new IP and they've put the full force of a creative team behind it. It could be pretty epic. Yeah. I don't know.
Are we talking about the survival game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we see it.
You don't think so? This is not the year?
No.
Do you think we see it at all? You think they're still working on it?
Not a word. Not a word.
That's crazy.
Well,
okay, we'll see tomorrow.
Maybe listed as additional projects. Like you might literally see a word, but we're not getting a trailer. We're not getting gameplay.
You might get a name. Crazy. Maybe you get a name. They call it
Fluffers.
Blizz.
All right,
Vibers.
Name counts as text. I'm not gonna take an L if they go, "Hey, that survival game."
Oh, you're gonna take an L.
We said nothing else about is now called Happy Fun Time Survival Game. I'm gonna be like, all right, that's still nothing. Like that's nothing. So
It's not much. I agree, but I would love to have something on it. I would love to hear what's going on because that's intriguing to me, that game. And it's also as close as we got to anything new, really. Everything else is either derivative or, I don't know. We keep saying Arclight. It's not Arclight. It's just Warcraft Rumble now. But that game...
Yeah, but Arclight was a better name.
Well...
It's still got Arclights in it. Arclight surges are still part of the game. They just took it... Some idiot took it out. It makes it Warcraft, Arclight, Rumble, War. Like, I mean... It's a great acronym.
Yeah, I don't think the creative guys chose this, but I do think the marketing guys are onto something because it is easier to market that name. Just call it Warcraft Rumble. The brand is Warcraft.
I feel like
Rumble.
it comes from the same
only
place.
thing of that name that I remember is Arclight.
Exactly.
That's the only part of the name I remember.
That's
on a
because
there are
we're
500 games called Rumble, like, you know, including the Rumble pack for the N64, but like nothing is called Arclight. So it was you know, Warcraft is the brand, Arclight's the distinguishing word. But they probably kept Rumble because it made more. They should just kept it all together. It was fine.
Or just Warcraft Arclight or something. I don't mind the word Arclight. I just know that there were meetings. There had to have been meetings where they're like, well, we're going to the mobile audience, and the mobile audience isn't as cute.
Unsurprisingly, they all came together to make the wrong decision.
This is the same team that said their MOBA is going to be not a MOBA, but a team brawler, and decided to put out marketing related to that. Like,
yeah.
It's a MOBA.
I forgot.
Yeah.
That's
Bo, I'm giving you such a high five for that. That is exactly the
Bo,
same.
you get points for that.
What's that?
You get points for that. That's a really good point. I forgot about that.
It's the same thing where it's like it's just it was fine. It had a great it was fine.
They should just call it a MOBA.
That was actually a pretty good name.
Yeah, call it a MOBA. Heroes of the Storm. It's a MOBA. They spent so much time trying to convince us it was a fighting game spin out.
Yeah. And meanwhile, they won't call Hearthstone a JPEG brawler.
I don't think they're ever coming around.
Why
on
hasn't that term caught on?
I think JPEG brawler is my favorite way to just speak derisively about any card game. It's like, oh, card game's so special. It's just shaking a JPEG around on a screen. Like, chill out, man. They're not that good.
At the end of the day, you're not lying. That is true. It is a bunch of JPEGs moving around.
Like, they don't got to animate much. They don't got to
we never get in
even
trouble
put any Adobe After Effects in.
I know, it's not even a GIF. It's just a JPEG.
I learned how to use a shader.
Oh man, we never get in trouble when we are reductive about Hearthstone. It'll be fine. No emails. It'll be fine.
It's not just Hearthstone. It's Magic as well. I mean, come on, guys. Like, how much money are you going to charge?
Bo is saying all card games are
bring it on, baby. You like card games?
Even real card games, even tabletop ones are just printed JPEG brawlers. That's what you're saying.
The thing is,
you invested in a printer and cardstock.
What really ticks me off is the one-to-oneness of the paper card game versus the digital. Because you think, hey, we got computers, it makes things cheap. I don't got to buy a notebook to write stuff in Word. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saving paper, I'm writing it down, but somehow this doesn't apply to card games, you know? Mm-hmm. And all you do is move some JPEGs around, and you got to charge an arm and a leg for your JPEGs. Like, you're ripping people off from the jump. So,
that's one way
crazy.
of looking at it for sure.
Magic cards online should just be like 50 cents for 100. Like, why is it so expensive to make? Why are JPEGs so expensive?
Because they will do whatever the market bears, and unfortunately, we the market have bared them to be higher than that.
Stop bearing the market, guys.
Because all those people that are going to write angry emails to Bo continue to say it's more than what it is.
Well, the other thing is, technically, Magic's been free online forever. There's that program that just lets you make any card, and then you can connect to another player and play. Like, you do not need to pay the company at all to play any card game. You can just upload the JPEGs to, I can't remember what the software's called. Probably shouldn't say it on the show anyways, but you can Google it. You can play any card game, like apply the rules, get on Discord with people, and just play the card game.
You're talking about Tabletop Maker or whatever it is.
Not even. It's a program that's been around for like 30 years. Like, it's got a name. I can't remember. There's a couple of them.
I assume it's janky and weird, right? It's not like some nice
Back then it was, but I mean, I haven't looked into it for a while. I'm just saying it's not, it's like... Is
it open source? Probably is by now.
Like, you can print off any cards you like and play with your friends too. Like, not that I'm endorsing piracy per se, but it's just like you gotta respect what it is you're asking people to spend money on. And if you ask someone to spend $2,000 on JPEGs, like that's insane. And that's what some people spend on their card addictions. And it's, meanwhile, you'll balk at spending $50 for Diablo. Is it even any good? An 8 out of 10? Ugh. But then you'll turn around and spend $2,000 on JPEGs. Like it's crazy.
Well, wait till I tell you about how
But at least Pokemon cards came with those little mana things.
Oh yeah, and for baseball card people, it was the gum in there. Yeah,
yeah. I didn't buy JPEGs. I bought gum.
I bought gum. Damn it.
Things like Slay the Spire and Stacklands, it's fine. They're charging a reasonable price. It's like the whole game. Here's $20. Yeah, it's a card game, but whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, well, it's a game. So here are the mechanics of the game. You're getting a full game because at the end of the day,
trading card model where it's normal to spend $1,000 in a year or more on JPEGs.
Yeah, it's the business model. It's not the game. The games are games. Yeah. Like you could argue that I don't know what's a game we're playing now. You could argue that Cyberpunk is a bunch of JPEGs, and that's what you paid for. But that isn't the same. We're not talking about the same problem.
You're not paying per polygon,
right,
for a random assortment of 5 JPEGs you already have. Sucker, want 5 dust for it? Cash 5,000 dust, and maybe you'll get an extra useful card. $1,000 later,
that stuff sucks. I don't like it either.
It's such a scam. It's such a scam stone, magic the scammering, all of that stuff online.
Scam stone. I haven't heard anyone call it scam stone, but I like it.
Magic the scammering.
Somebody should make a game like a chorecore game that is about sneaky video game models, business models that screw people over. Somebody should make that game. That'd be a fun game to play.
Microtransaction simulator.
Yeah.
You just try and how many microtransactions can you put in the game before the players are too mad to buy the game?
Exactly. We don't even have this in our lineup, but that bullshit going down with the Silent Hill thing. Do you guys follow that at all? What that deal is?
Silent Hill. What's going on with Silent Hill?
So Silent Hill was a big deal last year. They announced a reboot, and I guess basically Silent Hill 2 was getting a complete remake.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that's out has a battle pass, it's episodic.
What?
Yeah, you need to. I can't believe we didn't put this in the notes because I completely forgot about it. But hold on, I'll find the deal. I'll find the
Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2, the game you always remembered, now with a battle pass.
Okay, so here it is. Silent Hill remakes. Okay, Silent Hill Ascension. Oh, it's the Silent Hill Ascension thing. Here's what it is. So this may not be the 2 remake, but this,
okay, that not that it okays it.
Right, it's different though.
That is a little different though.
Yeah, it's a lot different. So here's what it is. Silent Hill Ascension live now is a free-to-play Rock, Paper, Scissors calls it a free-to-play disaster with some promising ideas. But basically they have a battle pass. They have emote crap you can buy. Like they tried to take a survival horror game series and turn it into this Fortnite model. It's really weird, man. Like really weird. No one's happy about it.
I'll say this. That sounds bad. I'm not going to make an excuse for it. But I do think horror is a good genre to experiment.
Sure.
Kudos on them for experimenting. Shame on them for doing it poorly.
Always strive for new ideas. These were shitty, but never stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought they were adding it to 2, and I have to say, like, that would be maybe that's why I'm more okay with hearing this. I'm like, whatever. Like, you started on such a level of like, they did what?
I know. I conflate this remake with this for some reason. I can't separate the two, but they're not the same project. In fact, I think they even announced these separately, but in my head, they were all part of the same deal. I don't know what's going on there. But it sounds like to me, at least in this case, it sounds like Konami's lost their mind. Nobody wants to do this. Who wants to do this?
I think last week we had a Dear Martha that ended with, "This is why nobody likes you." It continues.
It does continue
to show.
Well, this is where I make that comment about those leaders in game development, because it's really starting to. It should have become apparent to me a long time ago, but it's really becoming apparent that like those people, the game developers, they do shield the games from the money people in a big way. Like you sort of assume because they're all in game business that they'd have some sense, like they play games and understand what's fun and what's not, and they just don't. They have no idea. Like they haven't a freaking clue because the prevailing thoughts about ensuring, I guess, revenue or whatever just come first and foremost in their head. I guess, like, I don't know, like how do you even let something out the door like this Silent Hill Ascension? Like how could you even imagine this is a product somebody would be excited about? In what multiverse shard like are you imagining this happen? Like it's so like off the wall, and it's like, oh, they just don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know. They don't care, and they think their ideas will just work.
Well, then the
And it's
sad
sad.
thing is all the developers, the broad term developers, are the ones that get blamed for it.
Oh,
even
of
though
course.
Yeah, I mean, they got to earn the
they-
salary. That's the career they find themselves in, and maybe they're looking to jump ship when they can. I don't know how it works in Japan. It might be a little different in Japan. It might be just like, I think you stay with the company you're with or whatever, so you just do the work.
Yeah. It's like
yeah.
the Final Fantasy people. They've all been there forever. Like they rarely
Yeah, I don't
go.
think they change jobs as much as like we do in the North America or even Europe.
I think that's very common over there. It's just stay there and never go anywhere
they-
else. But like Yoshi
that
P,
contributes to the problem in a way, but it's their culture, so I guess whatever. But
well, good luck, Konami, with your bullshit. Overwatch and Diablo 4 are probably not going to hear much other than something for Overwatch will probably look sort of PvE-ish, but won't be.
Overwatch
John, you
3?
said this too, right?
Overwatch 3?
I
said we'll see a new character or season or whatever they do to justify that game's continued existence. I don't know. I don't know what new. Oh, I did say this. I will say this. Here's my genuine prediction for Overwatch, because I don't follow the game. I'm not that interested. So I do think that there will be a new season or hero. Maybe those go hand in hand. I don't know.
Yeah, new season,
But
new hero, new map.
I do think here's where I will plant a flag on something specific
Do
and
it.
not necessarily safe. They are going to show something, and they are going to talk about it as if they are bringing PvE to Overwatch, and it will 100% not be PvE in Overwatch.
Yeah.
But they will definitely paint it like it. They'll be like,
Or it'll just be
"Guys,
like a mission pack, right?
we're gonna
Mm,
get ready. If you're looking for PvE content, we're bringing it to you with the new Overwatch 2 Omnix having a party pass, and you and your friends are gonna be fighting against the AI, and they'll make it seem like it's gonna be a big PvE thing and an attempt to kind of go look over here to all the why aren't you putting PvE in this game, people. I do think that will happen.
I agree with you, and that's going to be an awkward moment where people are not going to be happy. There's no happiness to be had from an Overwatch anything unless they come out and say, we've heard you, and now it's 3, and 3.
No, I think Bo did make that joke. Did you say Overwatch 3?
Yeah, I said Overwatch 3.
That's what I think they should do. If you want by the money, that's what they should do, Overwatch 3. But
Well, it's not like they got to do anything.
So
they just
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's not like they just got to
so
slap a 3
crazy.
on it, and that's it, right? Like
Yep.
it's not. There's no box to release. There's no, whatever. It's like a season almost.
What if they announced Overwatch Tactics and it was a
Yes,
tactical-
because that would be making a new game, which is what I've wanted since before Overwatch 2.
I'd
When
love
Overwatch 2 came out and you and Bo were all on my ass for being negative when I saw the trailer for it, because I said, lo and behold, I don't think this PvE content's ever going to be good.
That trailer was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was because
0 hours, awesome.
all along what I wanted was a different game. Overwatch is fine, but Overwatch can keep existing and still be fine for people that like Overwatch. They should have continued that and supported it and let it grow and keep being great. And then they should have made something else in the Overwatch universe, because the Overwatch universe is interesting and good. But instead they just said, what if we made that exact same game all over again and put a 2 on it?
Yeah, I like to find issues with John's opinions. I can't on this one. You're right.
Lots of people do, Scott.
I know.
It's fine. There'll be plenty who do it for you.
I can't beat this one though, because honestly, as much as I enjoy Overwatch, I liked early Overwatch 2 because basically I was playing more Overwatch and it felt good and it had been a while. But in all honesty, they really did just like slap a 2 on a thing that already existed. The engine didn't change much. The graphics didn't budge really. They added a free-to-play aspect to it.
I mean, I'm playing a ton of Dark Tide. That could have been Overwatch time.
Yeah, that's true. You could have played that, but instead you killed zombies inside, not zombies, whatever they are inside of big giant ships.
Nurgle-y things.
Mm-hmm. Nurgle-y things.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, I was looking forward to being a big Overwatch fan because of the PvE content, and they fucked up.
A lot of people were looking forward to that, including one Chris Metzen once told me that. He said, "I'm so disappointed. I was really looking forward to that." I said, "Me too, man."
So was I. That was when I was being arms folded curmudgeon about Overwatch 2. Either Scott or Bo, you guys said to me, yeah, but when that PvE comes out, you're going to try it, right?
Yeah.
And I think my answer was yeah, because that's the one thing I'm looking forward to.
I think that was me. And of course you would, but it didn't. And you were right. It didn't. And it sucks.
Yeah,
Diablo 4 is the easiest category to predict in here.
Yeah, they're going to tease an expansion and show off a new season thing and talk about all the changes and sweet stuff they've done to it, right? It'll be fine.
There's more changes. Like, they're real excited. They've been pulling a Johnson on that stuff. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to what we have. How do you say that sentence? I can't wait to show you what we have in store.
At BlizzCon, yeah. There's been a lot
they're kind of stoked. So
before.
Yeah. So I'm actually thinking,
based on this survey that may or may not have gone out, maybe stuff on the store will be affordable. I don't know.
Oh wow, that's some big exciting prediction.
Guys, can I just say? So this screenshot, I actually don't know if this survey is supposed to be secret or not. Sometimes they tell you to keep it confidential. Sometimes they don't. This wasn't sent to me. This was sent to somebody else. I saw screenshots of it from an insider.
Yeah.
It is the most confusing survey I have ever taken in my life.
Oh my gosh, really?
I need to talk about this. It's the only place I can think to talk about this. So the survey was basically, hey, what do you think of Diablo 4? Your range of emotions on it. Have you purchased anything for Diablo 4? Kind of range of emotions on it. And then it got to this section, and I should have read it carefully, but usually surveys are pretty self-explanatory. I didn't know it was going to be this hard. They said something about the upcoming thing, and it's like, hey, we're going to show you money and things that could be in the shop that may not exist in the shop yet. And you're going to say whether you would be most excited or least excited for it. And then it would take whoever got this survey to a page, and the page would be like a store page saying new armor for a class.
Yeah.
And then you could either click most excited or least excited. And then it would say custom town portal colors. And then it would be a picture of a $5 bill. And it would say $5, and then a picture of like a couple 20s, and it would say $40. Same thing, most excited or least excited. So I can't tell you how many times I looked at $40 and went, I'm least interested in spending $40. Thank you very much, Blizzard.
Yeah, none of that sounds
I was literally sitting there going, I'm not interested in $40. I don't know what it means. Chat's going, what does that mean? I don't know. I thought they were going to show me a picture of something that could be in the store and then tell me what the price of that thing could be and if I would be interested at that price. But that is not how it worked out. And you could only pick one from each side. You had to be like, I'm interested in armor for classes. I'm not interested in spending $50. And that's basically what you would have to do. And you went through just tons of these. It's the most insane survey I've ever seen in my life. And like, how hard is it? Blizzard, you have overpriced your Diablo 4 store by about 80%. Like,
all their projections are based on that 80% though, right? That's the problem. That's the problem. They start high. You can always go down. It's way harder to go up. So this doesn't surprise me at all that they'd go high.
You've overbundled, and then on top of that, everything is overpriced by about 80%. I think I might have said this before. Went to the grocery store. I don't know if this is true. I was looking at Hot Wheels for my son. A lady came up and said, did you know those used to be $2 a piece? Nobody ever bought them. They lowered the price down to $1. Now, adults, kids, we constantly sell out of them.
Yep.
100% true. Blizzard, lower your prices on the Diablo 4 store. You have a game that feels underbaked as far as the amount of items and content in your game. If you were charging a couple bucks to add some stuff to my transmog, people would pay that. People are not going to pay $40 because you only offer it in a bundle of a bunch of stuff they don't want when that's already too much for that thing.
Yeah, they're bundle happy over there. I'd pay $5 for a portal, a cool animated portal. I'd do that, but don't make me spend 40.
So susceptible to like microtransactions. Like I have to be careful. Part of the reason I don't like mobile games is because I know how easy it is for me to fall into predatory practices with that stuff. I'm very susceptible to it, and I haven't spent a dime in the Diablo 4 store. It's so overpriced that even me, a potential whale that knows I have a problem with these things, went, "Oh, there's no way I would do that."
Yeah, I agree. They're too high. I know that for sure. Let's see what else. We talked about all this other stuff. You think any heroes mentions at all?
No.
If it's going on, only if it's going to Game Pass, which is like, or Steam, which is like 50-50. But I think if it goes to Steam, they don't even mention it. That's not. They just throw it on.
Just
Steam.
put it on Steam. Yeah.
But if it's on Game Pass, they might do it to. There might be like Microsoft might have like a VOD in the wings, like Microsoft Partners now owns, Blizzard. Here's what it means. Brouhaha. This is on Game Pass. That's on Game Pass. That's on Game Pass. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you probably see your Heroes. I assume Heroes is still relevant enough, hopefully, that it warrants moving to Game Pass.
I hope so too.
We'll have a very angry episode if
if they don't do
a bunch of games move to Game Pass and not Heroes. We'll be like,
do we think Phil Spencer shows
up? Maybe he could be a nice little prop to guest out.
He already showed up for a speech, so I'm guessing he's going to show up too.
I'll bet he shows up in video form and not there live. I'll bet there's a little short clip. Hey, Blizzard gamers, we're so happy to have you in the Microsoft family. Here's the Master Chief loves you. Kiss my ass, bye, and that'll be it.
Yeah, just that. Kiss my ass, bye.
Yeah, quote my words. That's exactly what he's going to say. Yeah, I don't know. I think he probably will. Someone in the chat, sorry, I just noticed this. JD Wilson in the chat says the K-pop skins for the Sserafim group, each skin $25 each. Holy shit! Now I could see
normal.
I knew they
normal for Overwatch.
Well, I knew they were getting skins, but I thought, the whole group would be a package of skins for $25. Each skin is $25 a pop.
Hell no! People are crazy for their K-pop. That's like, that K-pop. You might not know this because I learned this recently too. You don't just buy one of their albums. Like they have different collectors' albums with different inserts. So you buy the album 5 times so that you get all the different. Hopefully get the different things.
Crazy.
So K-pop is already monetized to hell and back for the really popular artists.
Microtransactions.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure Blizzard's not leaving that money on the floor.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you're like, that money's insane, you either can't afford it, which is fine, or you're not really a big K-pop fan. Because my understanding is you throw money at the K-pop group you stand. If you're
cared, you'd spend the money.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Merritt spent $600 whatever for 2 tickets just to see them at an event that has very little to do with them. So,
well, they're going to do a couple numbers. It's not a full concert set, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I don't think it's a full thing. Yeah, you're right. I think it's just a little bit of a couple songs, maybe. And one of them, they've already done a video with featuring Overwatch content that's already up on YouTube, and that's been there since early October. But anyway,
I contemplated going to a concert, and then I was like, I was starting to run into the 1000s. And I was like, I'm saving my money. F these people. I don't really like them that much at all. Forget it. Who cares?
I think it's great. If your fandom reaches that far, go for it, whoever you are. But
it's just that there's a limit, man. Like, even if you can afford it, there's a limit on how much you should spend on anything that isn't represented in parts and labor. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane. Like, no one's worth $3,000 to go see at 2 hours.
Oh my gosh, $125 for the whole set of these girls. If you buy the bundle, you get a savings. It drops it down to $68, and that includes skin, emote, victory pose, all that stuff.
Oh, you get all the different bells and whistles.
Yeah, but $125, even $68. I mean, come on, that's crazy to me. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
justify
that's
that.
nothing in the JPEG battler world.
No, that's very small.
Friday night.
Best price, $99.99. Get it now while it's hot. All right.
But
so
yeah.
one other thing I was going to say about that was I forgot now, and so that's great. I totally don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, the heroes thing. They're selling a shirt or something there, or maybe it's a backpack. I think Kyle just told us about this.
Yeah, Kyle sent a message saying
Reddit's freaking out about it, right?
Apparently Hero symbol made it to the backpack.
Yeah.
And now the Reddit is filled with hope.
Yeah.
I'll I've been hurt too many times. I'll believe it when I see it. Like, there's a reason. I said this in the Discord too. My predictions for BlizzCon this year, I feel like I set that bar on the floor. I feel like I have given them a very easy to clear bar. And if they cannot clear where I put that bar, something happened, because somebody would have to lift it up for them to physically go under it.
Yeah.
I would much rather be surprised than disappointed, which is why I'm not throwing out ideas like WoW 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think everything I'm predicting is extraordinarily sensible, and man, it would be cool to be surprised.
Sure would be.
That would be great.
Yeah. We all want that. I'd love to be surprised. So please surprise us, Blizzard, and don't forget to check us out tomorrow, because we're going to cover the whole damn opener.
Check us out while you're at work.
Yeah, while you're at work doing nothing. I hope it's I when I first looked at the schedule, I went, it's like a 90-minute presentation. That's not unusual for an opening ceremonies, but the way you guys made me think about the math, it's so close to lunch. This is probably an hour max, right? Maybe we get an hour out of it. We're not getting 90 minutes.
I don't know if they took lunch into account.
They
used to. Maybe they did.
That's where my theory came from, that it was VODs and not live presentation. Because Phil's not going to want to give a speech at lunchtime.
but they have done that in the past. Like, that was always a consideration in past BlizzCons. I was privy to a meeting when the year I hosted the Q&A where it was talked about, this all has to be done before the lunch thing. You know, people have to eat.
They're employees. They are entitled to a lunch break. They got to coordinate that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, they're having the open ceremony over lunch? That's weird.
Well, they're starting it so freaking early. Or, sorry, late. Like 11 a.m. their time. It's usually 9 their time. And we're all rushing to get in line by 7:30 in the morning.
And it's a busy enough morning for all those people that they're going to want to have lunch. They can't show up at 10 and be like, I'm going to eat now. They can't do Bo Schwartz style things. They have to eat lunch before they arrive, or breakfast before they arrive if they're smart, and have lunch at lunchtime. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure. That's my guess. My guess is that like it's an hour, or it's a bunch of VODs, like a keynote, live speech, and then like Apple style VODs, like you said in their Discord.
Yeah.
This is extraordinarily fair. I'm not laughing because I think Bo's wrong in his logic. I'm laughing because it's the most Bo logic thing I've ever heard, which is, have we considered what's happening with lunch?
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you mean Bo logic? I was a middle manager where if people didn't get their lunch, they were like, what about my lunch? And I couldn't say to them, you don't get lunch. Only closers get lunch.
Yeah.
I have to be like, yes, of course, we have to remember your lunch. Like, I'd schedule meetings, and it's like, I'm the boss. Everyone show up to my meeting, and then people would be like, oh, well, I had my break, so I didn't come. And I'm like, but I'm the boss, and I set the meeting, but you still took your break? And of course you did.
Of course they did.
You
They're
did.
entitled
This is
to
Tyrant Bo. This is my tyrant side saying you should just haven't been embarrassed to prioritize your break and not come to the meeting. But the person who knows employment law, Bo, is like, okay, well, I probably should just let them take their break and not give them a hard time about it. So... And just think about these things ahead of time. We're going to meet at 2. Who's on break at 2? Okay, better schedule for 1:45. Nope, someone's on break at 1:45. 2:30. Let's not do it at a time Bo wants at all. Let's do it at a time that you guys want, because I'm just higher in the ranking than you. It doesn't mean my time is any more valuable than yours and you have to defer to me.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think maybe John was getting the same. You're getting the vibe of like the way hobbits need to have 3 breakfasts and 2 lunches, and what about
employee, like human rights? It's a normal thing. It's like,
it is.
They all have to have their lunch. Like, so they're not skipping their lunch, especially not on an important day like BlizzCon. That's also supposed to be a celebration for them too, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? I want to say this. If we seem like we're maybe not down, but just like have lower expectations for this year's event, part of that is not taking into account what really makes BlizzCons in the past special, and I'm sure that will still be true this year, and that's the people. You get to see your friends that you haven't seen in a long time, the people you raid with, the people you've gamed with and never met before, people influencers you follow, whatever it is. That is a really cool thing, regardless of all of these announcements. Like, that's what people really are paying for. I mean, some are going to complain if they don't like what's shown, but really that getting together bit is the bit. That's the stuff that rocks. And you're paying Blizzard a lot of money to do that, but it's still there and it's still awesome. And I hope people really have a good time.
I want to clarify for chat room real quickly though, too. We're talking about C-suite people. I know there's some people that they say F your lunch and you don't get one. But C-suite people get their lunch.
Yeah.
Those people get their entitlements. All right. We're talking like top executive people. They're not.
Oh, hell yeah.
Unless they, if one of them has a particularity about something, they're going to be accommodated.
There's also some liability stuff. They have to like give room for not just employees, but people there piled into a place. You have to just give them the room to be humans. They got to pee. They got to eat.
Yeah. It's a PR event. You can't go around mistreating people, or that Jason Schreier will have that on his Twitter account in no time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, if it gets out. So yeah, everyone's on good behavior. It's a press event. Yeah. There's no reason why people shouldn't be getting their lunches at BlizzCon.
I agree. We'll tune in tomorrow, find out how wrong we are about all this, or right. Maybe we're right
every
about
last
a few things.
Every last word, every last period.
We're gonna take our break now. When we come back, we'll talk about the games we played this week. We got some Dear Martha. We got some follow up and feedback from other people. All kinds of fun stuff, and even a few news stories that happened this week while you were sleeping. That'll be us in a minute. We'll be right back.
Big for a podcast.
It's pretty large. I wouldn't recommend it. But we are back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. We are here to talk about the games we played this week.
The baby typed in the show notes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Where did he do it? I was trying to find where that happened.
Whatever this is right
it's
here.
Time for weird square brackets.
I think that was just I don't know what that was. You can command or Control Z back and it'll.
Oh, do you know about Control Z, John?
I just meant Google Docs supports it. I do not want to suggest the idea that John doesn't know what Control Z does. Clearly, he's.
I was suggesting it as a joke, but
do you even Control Z, bro?
Yeah, Zebro. I like that. It's a male zebra.
I just look. He attacked the show notes. I didn't know what all he did. He tried to take the thing off the microphone when I said no. His solution was, "Then I shall hit your keyboard." And I didn't know what all damage he did.
Well, you never know with a kid because that's what kids do. It's totally fine. That's what they're supposed to do. Anyway, we are back, everyone, and it's time to do these. Oh, you know what? They didn't record this. I'll play it one more time. I forgot to resume at the right time. We're talking about games we played this week, and I'm going to get us going with the shared stuff. Why don't you guys tell me what you thought of Phasmophobia? I don't know if those guys know, but there are 3 hosts on this show, and I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Oh, man, you took it. I told my wife when she saw your tweet about where you wrote sniff because you weren't on there. I said, I'm going to tell Scott they just forgot that there were 3 hosts on this show.
That would have been good.
That's good. That's very good.
That would have been good.
We played Phasmophobia with Kyle and Garrett. Scott wasn't invited.
Nope.
I don't know why. You would have been more entertaining than me.
I think I know why. It's because A, I'm terrified, and B, Bo had a helmet, and you're a cool dude. So why not? Why not Joe? Why not Bo and John? Why not Joe and Bon? But how did it go? Did you guys get as scared as that game makes me? Because that game freaks me the F out.
It's good. I was impressed. It wasn't like an action-y kind of scary game. It's, trying to figure out what the ghost is. You actually do investigation with tools and stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of real tension because the ghosts get mad at you and they kill you.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone knows what Phasmophobia is. I had no idea what it was leading up to it. I didn't even research it. I did the training the day before and was like, okay, I'm ready to let it rip. And it's I wish the flashlights were brighter, but apart from that,
That's
like
part
the
of the
world's
fun,
worst
though.
flashlights.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah,
of,
but
of having
in
it be
VR,
shitty.
it's pretty bad. I don't think it illuminates enough, even in VR.
Oh,
it feels like it somehow makes the world darker. I don't know how to explain it, but I turn on the flashlight and I'm like, why is it harder to see with this?
At the end of our session,
off?
it got to the point where I was like, I'm not even going to bring a flashlight. Like, what's the point? I'll just stumble around in the dark. I'll die quicker anyways, probably. Although I think the reverse is true depending on the ghost. But I love all the different behaviors of the ghosts. The ghosts, like, types have personalities, and I think they're remixed a little bit, depending on, like, responds to many people or being alone. Once we got into the swing of things, it was really fun. I like all the different tools and ways you have to process of elimination to figure out what type of ghost it is, where it is. All the sounds are creepy. It was great in the headset. Janky game, by the way. I don't know if it's janky on the flat screen, but it's definitely janky for the VR version. My belt was out in front of me, and I look cursed apparently. But no, it was it's good and scary. I want to play again badly, even though
how'd you feel about the equipment selection and the choosing of equipment, like what's best to use when, like, that stuff kind of threw me. I kind of had a hard time knowing what I should take in there and what I shouldn't.
I think you get used to how exactly it works, right? Because, like, for example, the motion sensor, which Garrett unlocked because he reached level 5, I thought it would trip if anyone walked over it, but it's only the ghosts. Right. So then I'm in the truck and I'm going like, oh, the motion sensor's tripping, and everyone's like, wait, what does that mean? And I'm like, here, I'm walking over it. Is it tripping? I'm like, no, you're not tripping it, even though you're walking over it. And they're like, oh shit, the ghost is here. Like like you gotta like sort of be patient. It's a learning process. Wow, that guy has a shelf. What version
also,
of the game is this?
Look how good in this gameplay. Look how good the flashlight is. Like, this person's got a lot of really nice equipment in the gameplay you're showing, and I'm really jealous.
Well, you upgrade all that.
It is kind of a weird progression where, like, you start with like the worst tools imaginable.
Yeah.
And then it gets better as you make more money, which makes sense, I guess. But like, it is also funny because it's like, well, you can't use a lighter until you're level 19. It's like, what? Why? It feels a little arbitrary, but I had a really good time with the game. I did not get scared, which I think led to me dying a lot.
Yeah, John by far had the highest body count.
Really? You died the most, eh? Wow.
I died a lot in this game, and I think it's because the game wants you to be afraid of the ghost and run from it and hide. And instead, people would be like, the ghost is down here. And I'd go, well, I need to go take a look at that. Let's see what's going on. And I'd go down there, and then I'd get killed immediately. I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have gone down there. I died.
If you anger the ghost, they'll get mad at you. And some of them are quick to anger, some of them are not. But yeah.
I feel like I died in 80% of our matches, and it was usually just me going like, oh, what? There's a ghost in here? just dying from it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good. Like, it's a very atmospheric game. It's very hard for video games to scare me. I do think I jumped at one thing. I think it was one of the ear whispers. Did make me go, oh, what was that? Because I just really wasn't expecting it.
I hate that so much.
But yeah, I definitely was the character that died immediately every single time because people would be congregating outside of the room, planning, talking about what they should do, and I was like, I'll go in there and look. If there's a ghost, there's a ghost. I don't know. What do you want to do?
Some of the best parts of the game though is when we leave like the cameras or the dot projector, and then we see like the ghost on camera. Like there was one point where I'm in the truck and I'm like, I see the ghost, it's there. Ah! Yeah. Like it's just like this incredible event when you actually spot one, and you're like,
well, plus it's proximity audio. So could they hear you out in the truck, or how does that
with
work?
the walkie talkies?
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Walkie talkies. Right. I actually think that being having a person in the truck makes this game way cooler. I actually think having whether it's that's what you're being or having someone that just stays in the truck and commands, I think is a super cool role for this game. Look at how this person's playing. Here's what I don't like. The way the person who's playing, sorry to just talk about the visual on this podcast,
fine.
but I'm like, what you're showing is so different than what we did. Like, this feels like now we're min-maxing our ghost hunting in a way that I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
this is
people that really know it. They know right where to go throw a camera on the ground, where to put the sensors, when to pull out the heat sensor thing or the cold sensor thing, whatever that's called.
This game definitely, like, the better you are at the game, the worse the game is, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, what's the point?
I'll
like,
never be good at it because it just terrified me the whole damn time I was in there.
You don't want to be. That's what I mean. You don't want to be that good at it because then the fun stuff doesn't happen. Like, I know at one point, like, I kept finding cameras and going like, "Oh, there's a camera in this level." And then John was like, "I spent time putting that camera there. Put the camera down." I was like, "Oh." I kept like picking up his like carefully placed cameras.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
But
if I was really good at the game, I'd be like, "Oh, I know exactly what I was doing and wouldn't be making those mistakes."
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Travis is in the chat. He played with me when I played last, or it's been a while. I don't remember that was the last time I played. But
I put a link to our stream there if you want to show that for viewers.
Oh yeah, do you got? Let me grab that real quick here. But where is it? Is it in the
Discord?
Oh, in the Discord. Sorry. I'm looking on the dock.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, it's just like the chaos is part of what makes it fun, right? And also just making mistakes and things like that. That's where a lot of the emergent entertaining gameplay comes from. But John's not wrong. Having a guy in the truck's useful because it tells you when the ghost is getting agitated. There's a ghost meter in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell people like, oh, it's a 10, like get out, get away. Or if you're trying to find it, keep doing what you're doing. You're pissing the ghost off. This will coax it out of hiding. And then there's a screen for the map. So when you go to the large ones, like the Insane Asylum was like nuts. I didn't like the Insane Asylum at all.
Oh, I hate that one. That scares
the map is so huge that being in the truck, you can see where people are. You can guide them, like go left, go right. It makes a big difference. And then they have the map, and then there's also another sanity meters. I think John also you'd let your sanity meter, like you have to stay in the light and come take a truck break so that your sanity meter recovers.
Yeah.
Because you're more likely to provoke attacks, I think, if you're losing your sanity.
Did you not show up till about? How come Bo's not in this till about 30 minutes in? What happened there? Are you just not?
What do you think? He had to set up VR, and
Yeah, that's a good point.
Bo shows up when Bo shows up.
I was a little late.
Precisely when he means to. It's fine.
Yeah, he's like Gandalf.
Yeah, sure.
Just jump ahead a bit, and yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, and with the hands free too, you can see me there. I was going like, "Hey, Mr. Ghost," and my hand it tracks my hand so I can dab and act like an idiot. I was wiping my butt on the desk. I'm wiping my butt on your desk.
I do like that this lets you seamlessly have multiplayer with you on VR and other people not. And I don't know. I like that. I wish there were more.
Yeah,
games
it was a nice touch, and like it definitely. I think if I was playing this flat screen, I would not have been scared. Like in VR, it's like it's oppressive. The darkness. Like at one point, at various points, I would just hide in the corner, even with the lights off. They're like, "Where's Bo?" And I'm just behind a desk. I'm not moving. I'm not moving until someone comes in. I know the ghost won't bother me if I just sit here and not move. And what's really freaky is when everyone died. I think I was at one point where I was the only one left.
Yeah.
Like all three of you had died, and I couldn't talk to any of you. And I'm like, I'm not going back in that house. And I'm like, I'm just gonna make the best guess I can. Okay.
Yeah.
So having people fall like that is like pretty freaky when you're all trying to run out of the house.
I think the game's come a long way.
We should play. I want to play like as soon as possible.
You know what? I would play with you guys, no problem. It's the only way I'd do it. Actually, I'm not playing with.
Let's do it. Let's find maybe next week. I don't know if this week's pretty booked, but
let's squeeze one in because I wouldn't mind a little session in there. And if you're are you always going to play it in VR? Probably, right? That's your deal.
It feels like I told them, although Garrett kind of took it the wrong way. I was like, I'm wearing the VR headset to make the stream more entertaining, and he's like, oh, so our stream's not entertaining? And I was like, no, but I'm being the clown. Like I put the headset on, and hopefully I'll go. Which I did, but I was not in proximity chat to anyone, so nobody heard it. I was like mad that it was not on stream. So I think we all have to 3 of us co-stream so that we capture like a bad reaction.
I almost feel like this game would. I know you would have to house rules it almost, but I feel like this game would be better if instead of proximity chat, you just were on Discord. But the rule is if you get grabbed to die, you have to turn off you have to mute yourself.
Oh yeah, there's
like part of the fun is hearing your friends freak out. Like it's not as fun to like after the fact go, oh yeah, I was scared.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Didn't the game used to? I could be totally wrong about this, but when I played it in its earlier iteration, I felt like I got muted for the rest of the game. Like I couldn't.
Yeah,
talk to
once you
anybody.
die, you can only talk to other dead people.
Oh, I see.
But
so far
again,
on
only in
Discord or
proximity chat still. So if you're on the other side of the building, you won't hear them anyways.
something. Right.
But
There's something scary about that in and of itself. That feeling of I'm far from everyone and I can only hear distant mumblings. I hated that.
Well,
that is true. That's really, I do like that.
That's why you
such
keep
a
the
weird
walkie.
trade-off.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird trade-off. The walkie does create good tension for gameplay. Like, because I'm like, please stop. Are you talking? Is everyone still alive? Nobody talks for a while because they're like, yes, we're here. And I'm like, whew, okay, heart rate down. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's a great little game.
Yeah, maybe the answer is everybody just co-streams it. Everybody should also have to wear a heart monitor.
Oh my gosh, mine's already effed in normal time. I don't know if I put that on.
I had a Fitbit and I could have done it, but it's broken now or not working. It's not.
How do you do that? Is it just like what do you Bluetooth it to the thing, or what do you do? How you make that?
I said it as a suggestion with no knowledge on how it works.
I think what I would do is it's connected to your phone, and then what you can do is you can plug my phone. Well, I plug my capture card's now taken up by my camera, so I can't do it anymore. But I could capture and isolate just the heart rate monitor and the phone.
Yeah.
But
all my shorter than me friends, their resting heart rate's like 65 to 72 or something. Mine at rest, like really tired, like laying there chill, totally relaxed, 72 at the minimum. And a normal, just me relaxed going about my day is about 85. And everyone's like, that's too high. No, if you're 6'4", that's normal. It's a height thing.
Yeah.
My doctor says. But I don't know if I want that on screen. I don't want to see people see me up in the 120s, you know?
Well, it's just a jogging, whatever.
Yeah, but it's like seeing inside of me, kind of. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's inside of me.
I don't know. Like people can see inside me somehow. I don't know why that's weird to me. Anyway. All right. So you'd play again is the point. You enjoyed it.
Yeah. I love this game. Big recommend. I definitely enjoyed. I enjoyed I appreciate the effort to make it a good multiplayer experience. Not because I'm a big fan of scary games, but I like that it's scary and multiplayer. I think that's a pretty big accomplishment.
The team is very, very dedicated to it. They constant updates. The game is very different when it first happened. So I think people are very happy about that. It's still enjoying. I'm pretty sure it's overwhelmingly positive reviews, all up in the high 90s.
Yeah, it's a unique, one-of-a-kind thing as far as I know. I mean, lots of scary games, but it's not focused on... Because I was explaining it to my mother, and she's like, oh, but, you can kill the ghost. I'm like, no, there's none of that.
Yeah.
There's a ghost. You can't...
You just identify it, and then
they can get you. You can't get them. You just figure out what kind of ghost it is and take off.
There are a lot of games that are attempting similar things now. They honestly, they're all kind of copycatting this. This was the big hit, and then a million. It's like Slay the Spire or something. A bunch of copycats came along. Some are better than others, but there's this one I just got from a dev called Midnight Heist, and the twist here is you and your friends are on a heist. You're there to steal shit. Like it's a important building full of whatever, and there's paranormal stuff that just you have to deal with because that just happens to be a part of the deal. So you have two goals. You need to survive and detect ghosts and do all those similar things, but there's an emphasis on you also need to get the jewels out of the safe and like get back to your truck.
Just identifying the type of ghost does feel a little bit like unfinished business. Like it's like, okay, we figured out what kind of ghost it is. Enjoy your haunted house. Like you don't do anything about it. Like so,
it drives away, patting themselves on the back. Yep, we totally went in there and said there was something in that room.
Yeah, like that ghost you have in there. It's a revenant.
I took a picture of a bone. Good job, me.
Well, I kind of admire it too. Just conceptually, it took this idea of ghost hunting, which I think is utter bullshit and is a waste of television time. I hate ghost hunting shows. They're boring and dumb and lame, and they prey on gullible people. But they took that concept and said, well, why don't we make a game where we can make all that real and not just fake it out with edits and sound bullshit that they do on those TV shows. If you can tell, I have kind of a bias against that stuff. I hate it.
Sure.
But in video game form,
Really?
go for it. Awesome.
All right.
Great. Yeah. Oh, Travis, you get your resting heart rate in the 60s? Nice. Nicely done. But anyway, 85 is where I'm at. All right. Well, let's move on now to a game John and I played. And let's just say it featured a favorite old 80s action hero named RoboCop. Although a lot of people in this game like to call it Robo. And I don't like that at all. I kind of wish
Murphy.
they wouldn't do that. Or Murphy. A lot of Murphy. Murphy I'm fine with.
Murphy.
Murphy's cool. They did Murphy in the movies. I'm fine with Murphy. I just don't like Robo. Like
Okay,
freaking...
but if you were not on first name basis with RoboCop, you didn't feel comfortable calling him Murphy. Saying RoboCop all the time is a lot.
If I said...
How about RC?
RC's pretty good. RC, come here. I got a case for you. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't mind that,
I
actually.
like both of them. I think Robo's fine.
I think that's
go
pretty
Robo.
strong.
They even say it in the movie at one point. They go Robo.
Oh, they do? Well, F that. That was a bad idea
Go,
then.
Robo your boat.
And it's a bad idea now. So the game is RoboCop Rogue City. Came out today. Today was the launch day. And a fan bought me a copy about a month ago, and I've been so excited for this thing to come because I liked the demo. But I also didn't fully explore the demo because I wanted to save it for the full release. This became a very anticipated game for me this year very quickly. And I am happy to say that I am enjoying the living shit out of it. Here's the thing, though. Only played 2 hours today. So that's all I have under my skin so far. Under my skin? That's not the word. Under my belt. Belt. Yeah.
Yep.
Where your wiener is.
Where your Steven Dorff is.
It is exactly what I wanted it to be from a gameplay perspective. The shooting and the tanking around, blowing shit up, and walls falling apart and paper flying everywhere and bloody deaths is really great. Very visceral, really fun. The shooting is fun. I also didn't expect a couple of things that I'm delighted with. The world is kind of open in a bunch of ways, and there are a whole bunch of side quests. I can pass a car and realize it's parked wrong and give it a ticket, and I get XP for that. I see a guy on the road who's inebriated and shouldn't be out there, and I can give him a citation, or I can let him go with a warning. There's like these different things you can do that give you different results, different kinds of XP. I also think that the ability tree is way deeper than I expected. And though all of those things add up to this being great, I'm loving every second of all of that stuff. What I didn't expect was for the dialogue and the acting to be so bad that it's actually kind of good again. Like, RoboCop's fine. It's Peter Weller. He's doing what he does. It's all short statements, whatever. It's not a big deal. But everybody else in this game, terrible. They're terrible, in my opinion. And I got to the point where I actually kind of like that it's as bad as it is.
Do you think it's intentional?
It's such a hard question.
Sometimes. Like, there's one... So, in RoboCop, there's the guy who's the head of OCP. Mm-hmm. And they interview him early on in the game.
Yeah.
And like in the movie, he was like, "Dick, you're fired." Yeah. Like that's how he talked, right?
Yeah.
And in this, they cut to him and he goes, "Well, the RoboCop, we think he's fine." And you're like, "What the hell voice is that? You didn't even try. Yeah. You didn't even come close." Like
a Detroit accent.
What are you doing?
I don't even know what accent.
Is insanely bad. And the problem is they're using likenesses of people that you have seen in the movie, that you did hear their voices of. There's another guy who was featured prominently in the movie and definitely had like a gruffer voice, and you talk to him and he looks like he would now. Like he looks kind of older, and he looks like he's got literally lines on his face because he yelled all his life. Mm-hmm. Is how they've modeled him. And then you go up to him and he's like, "Hey, Robo, good to have you here. thanks. We got a real situation, Robo. You're gonna need to go in there.
Yeah.
And you're like, why did you make this decision?
Yeah. They have adult actors playing kids. They have it's a really weird thing. Like when people are talking, the game strikes me as very amateur. Like the one place they really truly skimped was there's no really good voice acting direction, let alone acting. It's just bad, but it kind of grew on me. Like I like how stupid it is, and the gameplay more than makes up for it for me. Like it doesn't ruin the experience, not even close. It'd be great if they were, this was super cinematic and a, kind of the way we expected out of, say, Naughty Dog or somebody. That'd be amazing, but that's not what this is at all. It's campy, it's pulpy, and the shooting feels great. The environments are insanely cool looking. The character models of humans, non-RoboCop people, it's a real hit and miss. Some of them have strange shoulders. Some people have Naruto arms for no reason. Like it's not even bugs. It's just weird design. But the world, like the environments, the places you go, it's like the movie, but also just really well rendered, beautifully rendered. Lots of reflections. Runs amazing on computer. It looks just really great, and I'm loving it. I really like it. So I'm going to keep playing this, and I'm going to beat it, and we'll talk about it more when we get on the other side of it. But John, hot takes. What do you think so far of Rogue City?
I think this game isn't great, and as a result, it's perfect. like that's the only way I can say it. There's something so perfect about what they're doing here, but it's not a good video game. It's a good video game. It's not a great
game. It's not a great
game.
Video game. I agree with that.
Like it falls into that perfect B movie territory, like that doesn't really exist for video games. This falls into it absolutely perfectly and nails everything about it. Like, and I think this only really works for RoboCop. Like this game, if you took another property and just dropped it into this and it wasn't some campy thing like RoboCop, this would not be a good game. But I think there's something about it being RoboCop where this game works perfectly for it. Like it's really hard to say. The shooting feels good. Like mechanically, the game feels very competent, but not excelling at anything in particular.
Yeah.
But it also fits perfectly for the world. I am sad he doesn't say nuke every time he picks up nuke. I do like that note should have been listened to.
Also a big fan of the nuke. Lots of nuke references.
You pick up a ton of it, and I just want Peter Weller going nuke.
More nuke.
Every time he picks it up. But
we should say the game is set between RoboCop 2 and 3. That's the time frame. So that's why all the nuke is in here, because 2 introduced that.
The game fluctuates from looking like next gen, genuinely impressive, to Xbox 360, and it like sometimes it's both at the same time. Yeah. Like after you finish the first mission and like it kind of wraps up and it goes to the late title card for RoboCop Rogue City, it shows a shot of Detroit. Like RoboCop's Detroit, that looks like it belongs in one of the like best looking video games of the year. You're like, look at that city, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then the logo for RoboCop Rogue City pops up, and it looks like somebody took a PNG file and went, "Does this look good enough?" And they went, "It definitely looks good enough." And they went, "Yeah, just slap that over the top of that good looking city, it'll be fine." Like it's really weird. This game just like. It is more than happy to go from insanely good looking to absolutely trash looking and not care about it. And somehow the fact that it doesn't care works perfectly for this video.
Yeah, I can't. You've said it really well, because I've had a hard time quantifying that. It's a weird thing to say about a game, but somehow what you just said is absolutely true about this game. This may put some people off, but it endears me to it.
But it should. This game is not for everybody. Not for anybody. It's not for everybody. This game is definitely for some people. I think I'm one of those people, even though I get mad at this game a lot. Like I'll be playing it and I'm like, why? Why did they make this choice? Why is this like this? This is so frustrating.
Yeah.
But I can't stop playing it. It's all I want to do once we're done with the show.
Same.
Because there is something, especially once you get to the open world, like it opens with a mission and the music is perfect. Like music's really good in this.
It's right out of the movie. And in fact, even though it's a different arrangement and it's for the game, I got dinged on YouTube, not dinged, but YouTube turned off on monetization saying that I was using the soundtrack from the movie.
Yeah.
Which surprised me.
It works really well for the game, and I don't know, man. This game is crazy. Like, if you like RoboCop, play this game. Like, that's as close to the recommendation I can say, because it feels like RoboCop.
Yeah.
And in a good way. You don't play it and go, "Oh, this is bad." Like, it's cool, but like you also have to understand that it's one of the weirdest video game experiences ever, because like it does not care. This game doesn't care what you think about it. It doesn't care that you don't like the voice acting. It doesn't care that sometimes it looks amazing and sometimes it looks like an Xbox 360 game.
Yeah.
It doesn't care that sometimes RoboCop looks like an absolute badass and sometimes he looks like a toddler that's about to fall over. Like it is more than happy to show you all these things at once and just be like, no, it is what it is. That's RoboCop. Sometimes he's the coolest thing you've ever seen. Sometimes he's an absolute putz. And we're just presenting it to you. I love this video game.
Yeah.
Like this video game is not a perfect video game. It's not one of the best video games I ever played. But I love this video game.
I do
so
too.
much.
It's one of my favorite games of the year, but I would never say this is game of the year. Like, it's a weird thing to say, I realize it doesn't make sense. It's a little bit like people, you love a movie, even though it's clearly not perfect. It's got issues like RoboCop, the movie. Like, it's a little like that.
RoboCop.
Yeah. So in some ways it's like very consistent with that. And it's all I've thought about this afternoon. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to keep playing this. This is so much fun. Yeah. So
it's just fun. Yeah. It's just a fun video game.
I love it. Somebody in my chat when I was streaming it earlier said, is this a indie game or is this a AAA game? I said, exactly.
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah, the question...
It feels like both at the same time.
Yeah, the question is your answer. Like, the fact that you're asking it is kind of like dead on. And not in a bad way. Like, that's the weird thing is these should be big problems. It's not a problem. Just play it, laugh along, have a good time, blow shit up. The shooting's amazing. Like, I will give them full props for the shooting. The shooting just feels great. And by the way, so we were worried about this. I don't know if you guys remember us talking about this, but when they announced it and they had the demo and everything, we were like, well, I don't want to use any other gun except the cool pistol that is known for RoboCop that he puts inside of his leg holster. That should only be everything he ever fires. Well, that thing is there, and by default, it has unlimited ammo. It reloads, but it has unlimited ammo. And I didn't understand that at first, but once I got the hang of it, I'm like, oh, so I can pick up these other weapons, and some of them are going to be better for certain kinds of fighting. But I'll always have this thing on my side, and it's good. That's a great pistol. So there never once in this game have I gone, oh, shoot, the good guns are gone. No, I've always got a good gun, and it's right here.
You got his knuckle spike?
Not yet.
I haven't used it yet.
Yeah, not yet either.
You never know. Like, I'm sure it's gonna show up at some point.
There was a time in the game where you had to go do something with a computer, a wall, and she used gum to get past it. Do you remember that part?
Yeah,
your
they
partner
really leaned into all the aspects of Officer Lewis. They're like, remember that time she chewed gum?
Yeah,
well,
and they used gum.
She's doing it again.
Yep. So she fixes it with gum, but I was sure he was going to pull out his little spike and hack the machine or whatever, and he may still do some of that down the road. I have a feeling they keep introducing stuff. It's like, hey, you want to slow down time? Kind of. What's that game? What's that series? Like Max Payne. Yeah, Max Payne style. You want to have some bullet time? That's an ability you can unlock if you work in that tree for that stuff. That stuff's way deeper than I expected. There's some weird not RPG elements, but like every once in a while I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can pick that up and do something with it. Is this Skyrim all of a sudden? For half a second, I thought I could sleep on this mattress on the floor to regain health. Like, it didn't do that, but there's aspects of it where you're like, whoa, this is way bigger than it is. And then you'll be in a scene with like just people talking. You go, wow, this is way shittier than it should be. And then but I'm fine with it. You know, I'm totally fine with it at $49, which is what it is on Steam. I assume on other platforms, roughly the same. It's the perfect little middle place for a game that is what it is. I think I'd be a little bit going, I don't know, 59. I maybe wait for a sale, I'd say to people at 59 or 69 or something at full AAA price. And if it was too cheap, I'd go, it doesn't sound like they don't have a lot of faith in it. For some reason, it all feels right. The price feels right, even though it was bought for me. But I don't know. It feels like the right value. I really like it. And I would recommend it to people who like RoboCop without hesitation. If you don't like RoboCop, I don't think I'd play this game.
Yeah, this game is for people who like RoboCop.
Yeah.
That's one true thing I think I can say about this. I don't think anybody that's like, RoboCop's stupid, and you play this game and you're like, it turns out I love RoboCop. I don't know if that person's out there. If you are that person and you feel like spending a bunch of money on a video game to see, like, let me know. But it absolutely feels like just a love letter to RoboCop. And like all aspects of RoboCop.
Yeah.
Not just the idealized, because he does some dumb shit in this game.
Yeah.
Like, he is not just doing cool RoboCop stuff. He does those things, like he'll spin the gun and put it in his leg holster. He'll say cool, snappy one-liners, but he will also go, crime is not acceptable under any circumstance. And you're like, what a freaking nerd.
He's a huge nerd. Yeah.
I will also say one other thing I kind of like about this game. This is going to put some people off. I like it. This game is presenting an 80s action movie aesthetic in terms of the world you're living in.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
This game does not want you to have 2023 morality hanging on your head.
No.
Like,
or tech for that matter, right? Like,
when you make a choice, like, so I'll give you an example. Because this isn't that spoilery. I was walking down the street and a couple of street toughs were listening to music way too loud outside of a guy's store. And he comes out and he says, you guys are chasing away all my customers. Like, I don't like this. Like, you're hooligans. Get out of here. RoboCop rolls up and he says, what seems to be the problem here? Are these people troubling you? And he goes, yeah, Robo, they're threatening me. They're chasing away my customers. Their music's too loud. Mm-hmm. RoboCop, you get options, a dialogue tree. And at first, 2023 John, that was like, well, come on, let's understand where everybody's coming from, was like, fellas, your music's too loud. And RoboCop says something along the lines of like, you are damaging your ears. I read that at whatever decibels. And they're like, man, I don't like numbers. I don't even know what that means. And I was like, okay, this isn't that video game.
No.
This isn't the walk the moral high ground line.
Mm-mm.
So RoboCop then went, there's something wrong with your volume knob. Allow me to adjust it, and smashed the boombox. And they went, oh, we just bought that. Oh, and then they go running away upset.
Yeah.
And that's how you solve the problem.
Yeah.
And that's an 80s action movie solution. That is what this game is. If you're looking for commentary, social commentary beyond like corporations are bad, it isn't in this video game. This video game wants you to do 80s action stuff.
I'm reading a lot of reviews, and a lot of them say, I shot a guy in the dick, and he went down crutching his groin, screaming, ARG, 10 on 10 video game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
True.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
So, how many guys have you shot in the dick? That's
I've
also
shot at least 3 guys in the dick.
Yeah.
That's a very 80s thing, too. Like, in action movies now, they don't have those, like, look at the cool way he took a bullet. We put a bullet in his ear ball, or whatever. Like, it's, they don't show that much gore these days.
There's a ton of that, and the game is not afraid. And even from an aesthetic point of view, this world assumes that arcades are still very profitable. This world assumes that CRTs are still a standard for computers, and there's nothing fancy about computers. Like, this is 80s futurism.
Vision of the future from the 90s, 80s.
Yeah.
Also, for the record, like, as far as shooting people in limbs, there are 2 places they react. If you shoot them in the head, they die instantly. If you shoot them in the dick, they hold their dick and go, ah. That's it. You shoot them in the arm, they don't drop a gun. You shoot them in the side, they don't go, oh, there's no reaction. They react to the head and they react to the dick.
Yeah.
Head and dick
That's
only.
it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, head and dick action is what's going on. The thing is, you can kill them anywhere. I mean, you can fill them full of bullets and they'll die if you shoot them all in the chest, but it's way more fun getting a headshot or a headshot, if you know what I'm saying.
Like
Anyway.
a big shot.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes.
This game rocks. I love it. And the reviews are going to be, well, they already are pretty glowing. Fans or people seem to like it. I think they made exactly the game I wanted. And I wasn't even sure what I wanted when I was getting into this.
It sounds like they had, whether or not they nailed it in every category, they had a specific target and hit the bullseye. On the target.
Yeah. They at least hit. They hit in that general middle zone, which is funny because I had a really hard time with the shooting range at first in this game and could not hit targets to save my life, but I figured it out. The game, it does handle a little weird. You're like a tank, but it feels right for RoboCop, right? There's even a sprint, but the sprint is not a fast sprint. And it's you can feel how heavy you must be. Like there's a real attention to that, and that I appreciate.
Sounds like a great VR game. If you don't like motion sickness, let's go.
Actually,
RoboCop Rogue
this would
City
be
VR.
cool in VR. I don't know how they'd handle cutscenes because those are all done in a vignette style, but
They need to think about these things, man. Just do it all first person. I get why they don't do it first person. They want to show RoboCop.
yeah, like I will give like Cyberpunk deserves some props for this for being experimental, or to me it felt experimental in running up to Jackie Wells and having it just start a conversation. You didn't have to click a button, you didn't have to do anything. You just pulled up on him and he started talking. The cutscene is you witnessing the conversation. And then the dialogue becomes the interactions. That's
They
really
did a
cool.
lot with the first person, like they throw you on the ground. They give you a lot of interesting storytelling perspectives from the first person, where no other game does that.
Yeah, it's very unique
To
in that
the
regard.
to the degree they do that.
It seems like that
So
lends itself well to VR and the development of that stuff. So
usually in VR, when there's a cutscene like in a mod, it just throws it to a 2D view, and you watch the cutscene, then you go back to 3D view. So
Yeah,
you can just
that's
handle it
annoying.
that way.
well, this would definitely be that, but it is cool as hell and dumb as hell and beautiful and ugly, and it's a contradiction across the board that is worth your $49 if you like RoboCop. It's as simple as that.
Sounds like a glowing review to me.
Yeah, I love it. It sounds
Two
like
great games, everyone.
Yep, John and I found ourselves on the same page today on this game. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Not that we don't normally. We often like the same things. But how about this one? I decided to grab a sale because I spent years wondering what it was and then never biting and then not sure if I should have and almost bought it once or twice when it was 19. But Detroit Become Human became $15. Detroit Become 15.
Become on sale.
And I grabbed it at that price because that seemed like a nice low price, and I've been wanting to try it. It's Steam Deck certified. There's a lot of reasons. And also, I like Quantic Dream's chutzpah. I like their desire to try crazy stuff and do new things. And I wanted to see what that was about. I'd heard really good things about it. Plus, I just love the whole idea of a near future with androids and what are the sociological impacts, and when people start losing jobs to perfect human replicas, what does that mean? How does that affect? Those are interesting concepts, especially with all the AI stuff now. People are thinking about it again. So anyway, I dove in on it, and I feel like I slept on that too long. I think this thing's really cool. It's the opposite of RoboCop in the acting and voiceover department. It is extremely good. Lance Henriksen's in this thing. A bunch of people I should know from other things, but I don't. I didn't know this. It's the story of 3 different androids in this world, and you're playing out their stories, and the stories play like a flowchart with a million offshoots depending on your decisions. So the game celebrates itself as a big choice-making game that affects the outcome of stuff. And that is so true because, I'll just put it simply, one of my three very different characters that you're playing through as, one of them's already died for me. And that's it. He's done.
Way to go, Scott. You have one job to take care of 3 androids.
I know. And I let him die. And I did it. I was more curious about what would happen if he did a certain thing and it got him killed. I'll say what it was. It was the detective of the 3. He's kind of the one on the box, I guess. And I was loving his story. So I'm a little irritated because he's running around with Clancy Brown in this thing, actual Clancy Brown.
Oh, nice.
So the acting chops are across the board are really good. The VO is really good. The concepts. The story is very intriguing. The sound works amazing. Graphically, it's beautiful. The PC version's been out since 2021, I think. And like Quantic Dream games, there is a lot of sort of, I need to move left, and therefore I will use a controller prompt to say go left. I will, in a way, it's almost like a point and click in some weird ways, except you're not pointing and clicking as much as you're making movements. But if you've played like Hard Rain or any of the other Quantic Dream games.
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. What'd I say? Hard Rain?
Oh, Hard Rain.
We just want the money. Not that one.
This is a different game.
I would play that game. Remember that? The whole place is flooded, and they were trying to steal money, and Morgan Freeman and what's his beak running around on jet skis. Anyway, it is near future, so there's a lot of tech going on, but also a lot of stuff is the way we think of it today, sort of normal. But it's really dramatic, and it's mostly story. This is what Quantic Dream does, but there's also a detective aspect to a lot of it that plays out a little bit like L.A. Noire or something. As best I could describe it. And that's really fun. Didn't expect that to be in there. It's a lot of murder solving and find evidence and make good decisions about that evidence, because if you don't, you could end up dead or in a bad situation. It's the kind of game that my understanding is you can play through it in about 10 hours, but you are encouraged to go and do it multiple times to see how all your other choices might have changed things. So you can be a piece of shit. You can be a really nice robot, and the results are very different every time. It's cool. It's really cool. It made me more excited for their Star Wars game than I was coming into this. And I don't know if that Star Wars game is going to be a lot of these same kind of movement prompts and stuff that they're sort of famous for, or if they get to be a little bit more action oriented. I don't know, but they're good storytellers with a very interesting style, and there's a reason why Quantic Dream is considered kind of a Sony darling when they make.
Yeah, that sales pretty good too. It's like 17 Canadian.
Yeah, it's cheap. $15 is like, here was like nothing. I'm like, I'm getting this finally.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the living hell out of it so far. I'm not that far, but I'm far enough to know I like it. And so grab it on sale. It's on Steam, and it's also on Game Pass.
That's why it's perfect, because it's like, I'm not sure if this game's for me, and who knows, but now that it's on sale, it's a bit easy.
Oh, also not Game Pass, PlayStation Plus. It's actually a PlayStation title. I did crash twice on PC. It was fine because it saves a lot, and I was right where I left off both times, so it was not a big deal. It was a little annoying, but it happened. I played much longer on the Steam Deck, and it never crashed, so I don't know why that was, but it's a known thing. I read some stuff in the discussions about it. Anyway, it's cool. So if it's one that you skipped or just never thought about or went, I don't like Quantic Dream games, I think this one might turn you around. It's pretty neat. What else I play? Oh, I streamed Amnesia the Bunker. It's scary as shit. I will never set foot in there again.
I hope you're writing that one off, huh?
Yeah, I'm done. That game and I will never hang out.
Why did you decide to play it?
It was bought for me by a listener, Jim Jensen, who's been around the Frog Pants community forever. Great guy.
Oh, I love the Muppets.
wrong. I guess that was
yeah.
Wayne. What was his name? Jim Henson is who you're thinking of.
Yeah, sorry.
Jensen's very different. Anyway, he got this for me a while ago, and I thought, well, it's Halloween. Let's play it. That shit is unreasonably scary. Like, the Amnesian games are already known for this. I liked Soma, their sci-fi one. That was a little more psychological and a little less dreadful. This is back to full dread. It's set in World War II. You're a French soldier. You're in a German bunker. Weird shit has gone on in there. I don't even know to this moment exactly what's happened in there, but it's dark and awful. You have a flashlight. You have to pull a string on to charge it. A little bit like that Father Forgive Me 2 thing, but worse. This thing is shit. It's the worst flashlight on the planet. And it's on purpose. It's meant to be very harrowing. It also makes noise and wakes monsters up and that sort of thing. Dark, dank, sound work is way too good for its grade. It's scary as hell. I hated it. And by that, I mean, this is a great horror game that people who like horror games should play and buy. But I still think about it.
Right?
You know what? I had the feeling that if I kept going, this would top Resident Evil 7 for the most disturbing horror game I ever played.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should play this game.
You might want to. There's some stuff in there like limited inventory and some other things that remind me a lot of what they do in those games. Very similar. I mean, it's clear these guys are inspired by a lot of that stuff. There's just no way they're not. I put up video of this. It's up on YouTube. There's also some up on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. There's like a shortened mashup of my worst moments in it. If you want to watch those, you can go seek those out. But it's scary as hell, dude. It's so scary. Oh, you'll like this. The life meter. You notice in this video, he keeps holding his hand up. Well, right now he's not hurt, but that is a indicator of health. So when his hand is clean like that, that means he's at full health. When he has just like a little bit of blood on a finger, that means you're getting a little off. If the whole hand is soaked in blood, you're like near death. You got to do something. So they have kind of a cool way of handling that. Unlike Resident Evil 7, you don't pour water on yourself to heal.
It's a shame.
You have to make bandages. So there's a little bit of crafting, not a lot, but a little. It scared the shit out of me. So
okay, so this is a whole genre of game they make. That's like,
oh yeah, the Amnesia series is something.
Yeah,
else.
I have a harder time with the horror games, not from a scary perspective, from it holding my interest when it's the runaway type. I'm like, take from my dying constantly in Phasmophobia, whatever the name is. I would struggle with it.
Yeah.
I have a hard time when games tell me like, no, you got to run away. There's nothing you can do about it. I have a tendency to just go, oh, I just get killed.
Yeah.
So I do struggle with this type of game from a logistics standpoint, but I do find them interesting because they do tend to be very scary.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it is very scary. I will say.
Oh, wait, he's got a gun.
Yeah, he gets a pistol.
Wait, you do get to fight?
Oh, yeah, you get to fight. That's the other thing is this,
great.
unlike, oh, shit, there's that thing. That just gives me the worst feeling to see it. Ugh. Sorry. The game has weapons, and you use them, and there's different ones, and it's not just the pistol. You have very limited ammo, that sort of thing, but you can fight back. Sometimes it's just to distract the thing so that you can go get other shit done. It's not always to kill it. In fact, I don't know that you can kill it till the end. I don't even, I didn't get that far. But yeah, you're not left to just run. Like the first game, Amnesia, whatever it was called. I forgot the full name of the first game they made. But that game
was
yeah, that's it. Was that it? I think that was
Dark Descent, Amnesia,
something like that.
But
but the goal of that was get the hell away from whatever's coming and keep your sanity from going over the meter.
Yeah.
And that's more like what you're talking about. This is a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more defense. You can actually fight back. You have grenades. There's ways to do stuff. There are moments where you want to hide because it's the best choice, but I hated it. It really got under my skin. I dreamt about it. It was awful. This game's really scary. So, grats to them. They made a hell of a scary game. It came out this year. It's not that old. It came out in June, I think. And available now. I also played more Symphony of War. I love coming back to that game. Not much else to add except this is the one that's like, what's the Nintendo series? My brain just went blank. The one where you had the 3 schools in the one and
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem, thank you. It's the Fire Emblem like that someone made, and it's very good version of that sort of thing. I really like it. I like the squads, the way they made it. It's less about individual characters and squads instead. It's really, really neat. I've talked about it on the show before, so I don't have to get too deep into it, but it's a fun game, and they just did a graphic overhaul on some of it, which looks really nice, so I've been playing that. John, one of us played, speaking of scary games that I would not play this week because I refuse to play this one unless someone buys it, Alan Wake 2. How's that going?
Scott, do you like Max Payne?
I like Max Payne. Yes. I'll say that.
Did you like did you play Alan Wake 1?
Yes, until I didn't. Because that game scared me really bad, so I only did that for so long. Same problem. Scared the hell out of me.
You liked it for a bit, then you got scared and
Yep.
you left.